very quickly and let people know we exist. Eventually. Maybe. Yes. Wait, what? Oh, you silly thing. There we go. That can go away. That can stay there.
Do either of y'all know a good system neutral resource for making mega dungeons?
Grid paper and pencil.
Oh, thanks. I mean, like, I'm talking about getting Unreal 20 using like 7+, probably.
Donjon's pretty good. It's pretty system neutral. Well, no, it's not system neutral, but it's like you can at least it can fire them out pretty easily. But I either do a mega dungeon like that, or I do the 5-room method, where I just have 5 major areas in a major dungeon. I'm worried about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I need to make a ancient fallen dwarven kingdom.
Just get Dungeon Alchemist, he'll be fine. That thing is.
I have it. I can map it out. I mean the mechanics of population and loot density and things like that. But I can actually drawing it's not a problem.
I'll have a look through my books. I might have something, but because I've gotten so many different bundles at this point.
Yeah.
No, we cannot hear you there, Inslee.
Nope. Did hear you before when you talked about showing up on Tuesday.
By the way, hello everyone. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian, and this is going to be a session of Traveler 5, a role-playing adventure in the far future. And unfortunately, we're having minor technical issues, but we will have those sorted out shortly. If anyone out there has a good idea for, what was it? Dungeon population and generation, comments below and such. Message me on Twitter. Because maybe people know more than I do, because I do I'm very lazy with my dungeon generation. I mean, no, I plan in depth, and I'm very careful about balance and stuff. Yeah. Especially in Star Trek Adventures and Traveler, you know. I would never rush things or anything. So how's the sound there going, Inslee? Oh no, maybe not. He's gone. He's back.
Test. Hey,
can hear you now.
I think it may be about time to invest in a new headset.
Tin can and string usually is a great investment.
Maybe the most reliable way to go. I know that's the second time that has happened to me in a game, so we'll see.
All right. So let us away. It is 1111 of Imperial Reckoning of the Third Imperium. The Third Imperium is in the height of its golden age, enjoying the rulership of Emperor Strefon Elia Aklakoi. Long may he reign. It has been a full year since the armistice ended the Fifth Frontier War between the Jordani Consulate and the Third Imperium, with a return to status quo de jure, but de facto, the Sword Worlds Confederation have lost many of its worlds to become a new Imperial client state formed in the aftermath. A year of postbellum in the Spinward Marches sector has seen a dynamic shift of recovery, renewal, and opportunity for many a traveler to benefit from, not the least of which the lifting of the sector-wide amber status by the Travelers' Aid Society. Between the interests of the mentalist Jordani, the Imperials with the Darrian Confederation allies, seeking to uphold their self-appointed warrant of restoration, and the fiercely independent sword-wielders, the will of humanity is made manifest in courts of high pageantry, to respectable private courts of TAS member lounges, to courts low and dark of spacer bars. Among the million stars, we link once more to the planet of Darrian, and we focus in the star town below, in the shadow of the great space elevator that connects the low port to the high port. But not to the nicer parts of it. No, more the rougher and more sunless parts of this hyper-advanced Darrian city. Both Tarbin and Calcian, you have been promptly assassinated. I mean, you've been you have stepped out of your of the bar with your hacker hired and paid for the next 4 days to watch out for possible intrusion upon the TES vault on a technical scale. Your Neok N is off making some connections with some fellow vac suitors and just seeing the city for himself now that the large part of what he's done is over. But you have not heard hide nor hair of Professor Calvier. Though he did only sprint away, but you haven't heard anything. You don't hear no alarms, no cult thieves or calls to police or anything, because you are in this isn't the nicest part of the Star Town.
And no word from Iblifatil either.
No.
Well, I think overall that meeting went well. We got what we needed. The professor may have learned a much-deserved lesson in keeping certain attitudes to himself in most circumstances. All in all, I'm very satisfied with the day.
I'll be satisfied if I never come here again.
Me too. Someone calls out, and as they stumble along and fall into a... Well, I would say a pile of trash, but they just kind of fall into a bunch of recyclables and kind of crunch and just kind of lay there for a bit.
Tarbin would chuckle. Oh, it's not so bad. Every city has places like this. Sometimes the absolute best food is found in these areas. Small family establishments.
It wasn't found in that room.
Well, no.
That
I'm
room
just
was a
saying in general.
biohazard.
But on to our more immediate problems with a potential Jordani special operations force coming in. It might behoove us to perhaps purchase some sort of psi-shielded protection.
And on that, I need the two of you to roll me intuitions. 2d6 each. 8 versus 4. 8 insight, 8 curiosity for Tarbin, and 4 luck for Calcian.
I think Calcian actually gets the 4 insight and 4 luck because he's the second and last. Right?
You're right. It's the other way. I believe it's the other way around. You're right.
Yeah, that's how we've been doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to cheat you. Don't worry about it. I just really don't like Calcian because he's a noble. Eat the rich. No. Wait, you're both rich. Eat the both of them.
I'm not that rich.
Says a shareholder in a multi-million credit company.
Yeah, on paper.
So yeah, sorry. It's insight for Tarbin and curiosity luck for Calcian.
So, yeah, are there such things as like size shield helmets? I mean, I know my vac suit has like some minimal size shielding of like 4, but I mean,
Basically,
are there?
any type of armor you can make with Armor Maker has some, and you can build to that as a specification.
Right. So in theory, we should be able to like
And I want
buy
to say,
some specifically size shielded helmets.
I think there is like a separate piece of gear that is a size shield.
Oh.
It would be on book 3, page 175 somewhere, because that's where like the list of armors is, not the like suits and stuff, but
Okay. Yeah. There we go. See anything that is psi specific.
I think it might be. It's going to be somewhere in this list if it is.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I have no idea to look for it. Other way.
But yeah, you can also just like build armor to do this also.
Well, yeah, but I'm not sure. I mean, if for this specific case, I'm thinking we're with the time we have and access to things we have, it's probably.
If you're going to get it anywhere, it'd be in a city like this, in a high-tech area like this.
Maybe there's not like a separate.
It's just something into the.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Oh, there we go. Dash shield.
Okay, here we go. I'm still in book 3, page 125. There is a listing for a size shield helmet.
Oh, 125?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, right there, yep. Tech level 12. It's actually a lower tech than I thought. 3,000 credits.
Which gives you 15. So, yeah, I'm saying it's not a bad bet to pick up a couple of those with what we might be dealing with. Not to mention we're traveling with a guy who can, literally shut down reactors from several kilometers away.
Yeah, I'm debating that, or there seem to be many scenarios where we're almost about to get shot at, or danger is nearby, and I'm thinking, why don't I just buy a suit of armor to handle all the scenarios?
Okay, I mean, I guess if you're somebody who wears clothes, that kind of makes sense. But... I mean, yeah, honestly, my advanced vac suit has, for most purposes, has decent armor. I mean, it's got AR-20. It's nothing like the super suits or anything. And then I've got
I have Fighter 4, which makes it a more reasonable argument.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have Fighter, doing anything battle dress or battle armor is asking for the GM to hit you with rolls you can't pull off.
I mean, I've got Fighter too, but this character's not, he's not fight unless he has to. He's just a bear.
Yeah, for now, I guess let's do the size shields and
Yes, so let us head towards a more advanced, more upscale part of the city where we might be able to find such things. We still have our tablets that the TAS gave us. We can probably find some sort of place that might supply such things to travelers trading in Jodani space to ensure that those sneaky Joes don't, take advantage.
Yeah, you're able to easily make it into the more upscale, in the light spires and of the
Shopping areas.
Star Town. And there's a variety of shops that sell inside shield helmets are a fairly common thing, especially in the Darrian Federation, because the Jordani are one of their closest allies.
Okay.
Closest rival, I should say. Sorry.
Right. Okay. So yeah, spend 3,000 for a side shield helmet.
Do either of your characters speak Tzettel, the Jordani language?
Yes. At 8, I think. Yes.
Arctos, give me 2 dice on intelligence, as you might notice something as you and Calcian are shopping.
Just straight intelligence.
If there's a skill that helps you see minute things or notice something odd on your person. Oh, you're wearing a vac suit, aren't you?
No.
No, okay, never mind then.
Like streetwise, maybe?
I'll take streetwise, yeah. This is hard. This is an optional skill. It's a straight intelligence with a skill modifier, if it makes sense, sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. So looking for 13 on 2. Yes.
So I imagine even as a Ursine, you would have like somewhere to store things like the pad or credits or something like that. Is that like on a utility belt or like a bandolier type setup?
Like from the descriptions I read, because it's mostly all in Traveler 20.
Right.
The bandoliers, belts, just because of their fur, they don't, except for like vac suits and stuff, or armor, tend to wear regular clothing. But yeah, they've got, belts and with pouches and whatever else, that kind of thing.
You notice as you kind of just adjust your bandolier a little bit just to help it fit a little better. Like you came out of an elevator and it's just a thing you do just to make sure it's sitting properly. You notice you hear a rustle in one of the pouches that wasn't there before.
Oh. I will investigate the rustle carefully with my claws.
So you flick it open and you see there is a folded up piece of what appears to be a very a shimmering, almost metallic looking piece of folded paper. Although it looks like more like folded metal. Okay. From how gray and silvery it looks.
Okay, I will carefully unfold it.
As you take it out of the pouch, you notice there is this emblem on it. And the word for companion, and the character for Iblith.
Is that the sign for the Jodani consulate?
This is where I'm going to have you roll. Because there's something hidden in this characters, and you're not a Jordani, so this might not be immediately obvious to you. I will call this... normally this would be a 4... Actually, yeah, I'll do that way. We'll call it 4 dice on your... It's education... plus your Tzettel score.
4 dice of what Tzettel?
Education and Tzettel, so half your training.
Right. Okay, so that's going to be 5, 12 on 4.
Yep.
Just.
You don't. You know the language, but this is something. This seems to be a specific. These you understand the words and translate them. There's no role for that because you know the language. But that combination, that implies that these are. You kind of have the right idea. They are members of the consulate. So either in the functionary or noble class, who are companions of, or in the same peer group as Iblith is. They are companions of Iblith. Which is more than, which differentiate from friends. Like you and Calcian might, if you were writing yourselves out, you would say you were friends of Iblith. As in you both you have similar goals, but companion means something else. It's a little more formal and a little more implication. It implies psionic relation in some way. And you see that it's on the outside as you're about to unfold it. And as you unfold the paper... Oh, sorry, I'll stop.
Does that mean that it's like addressed to that somebody in that peer group, or that's who
sent it?
The note writer. Okay.
And you get the feeling that this is sealed so that it's not meant... It couldn't really be opened by someone who wasn't supposed to read this. You've heard stories of Zerdani's secret papers that can't be unfolded except by certain approved persons.
Okay. So, let's see if I can open it carefully.
You pull it open, and it feels like you feel the weight as if you're unfold. It feels weird because it's not. It's almost like it's with the ease of unfolding paper, but the heft and the slight creaking of metal. Like you're literally bending steel with your nails. On the inside, into Zuddle, it says, "Beware, don't travel alone." We have enemies. Though in the wording, we means you and him. Or you and them. There's so few words, it's hard to get context, but that's the form of we they're using. People walk around you, just unplussed about you some bear reading a paper. People are shopping. They're not really paying attention to the two of you right now.
Kind of fold that back up and stick it in my pouch. Well, one of the Iblith's people just sent what I'm going to assume is us a warning. I've been told we probably shouldn't travel alone.
Then
that there are enemies about.
We should get what gear we need and get back to the lounge.
That sounds good to me.
So you're just buying standard some TL 12. Well, actually, you can get somewhat better size shield helmets because this is a higher tech place.
Right. Sure.
Just like a higher insulation from psi, like instead of 15, like 18 or something.
Bear with psychic helmet. Bear with psychic helmet. Bear with psychic helmet.
You okay over there?
Sorry, I'm channeling several different fandoms there. All the way back to Bugs Bunny.
So we're at Tech 16 here, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you find that they sell here. They do sell the standard size shield helmet, tech level 12, because especially for people who are used to that level of tech, who really don't understand the more advanced version. It's a somewhat bulky helmet with various metals and various layers and a visor and stuff to warn you of stuff. In the war, Tarbin, you would have seen a few key officers on ships wear them, and key enlisted personnel would wear them. Intelligence guys almost always wore them unless they were in a protected room, which you never got to go to those rooms generally.
Right.
But they were bulky looking. They look kind of silly because they are these big hulking things you chonk on your head. The ones you see in the store, they still have the chunky ones, like the Imperial standard ones, but they also have the Darrian standard ones, which are far lighter, far sleeker, and far more advanced. So, boop. Let me get these numbers at you here real quick. It did not occur to me to pre-generate these helmets, but I can build an advanced helmet fairly quickly.
That happens when you give your players a chance to think over a week. Oh yeah, we're facing potentially psionic mercenaries. Better get a helmet.
Good God, advanced stuff is awesome. Costs more though. And whoops, no. Oh wow, these are way lighter than I thought. Okay, but because they're lighter, they don't do. Is that right? Doesn't affect that at all. -2. And -5 still? Yes. Base size shield was 3,000. Open. Just doing some quick calculations while I add this all up. No, don't need that multiple times. Thanks though, computer. Times. Oh. So an advanced very light size shield helmet Instead of weighing the normal 1 mass, it weighs 0.48. And it's, in general, it costs about 12,000 credits. Whereas the side shield helmet just mainly has heavy on the side shielding, a little bit of armor, and a little bit of, I forget what SO is short for.
Soundproofing, I think.
Sound damage, you're right. Yep. Soundproofing. The advanced version kind of adds a variety of other, because of the more advanced materials, it's more resilient to lesser technologies. It's more comfortable. It's half as lighter than the normal ones. Well insulated and has better side protection. But that's the difference between a 12,000 helmet and a 3,000 helmet.
That's fair.
But they sell both. This wouldn't be that this isn't something they're unused to.
Right.
And I wouldn't penalize either of you if you're using it, because it's not a vac suit. It's a helmet that you put on. It's only if you're trying to do something weird with it that'd be like... It's not a very advanced thing. It's something you wear rather than a computer or a very advanced gun. Because both of you come from lower tech levels than Darrian.
Right. Well, by one.
Oh, is your homeworld 15? Oh yeah, you're from the capital.
I'm from capital. Yeah.
So yeah. So this is just slightly more. There's probably something like this on your homeworld. It's like, yeah, you can get this if you ask them, and they say, oh yeah, that's in the back. We can get it for you. So it's just slightly more advanced.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll spring for the $12,000 version.
Same. I kind of do want to go ahead and go for an armored suit, but at the same time, I need to have money available in case we have to buy our ship quicker or we need to fill it with cargo. So I can't really use the capital I got.
You can go through the trouble when you buy these psi helmets that they have these little kiosks you stand in front of, and one of the helpful clerks will tap a couple controls, and the thing kind of scans your head and measures it, and then they kind of very quickly tailor it so it fits comfortably on your head. There are like little adjustment buttons and controls to help the helmet fit more comfortably on your head, and adjust the insulation level, like if you want a very warm hat or very... You want a cooler breeze, you want to let some wind in, that sort of thing. They tell you some of the features. But they make sure that at least the first fit is a comfortable fit for both of you, especially for Tarbin, because you're an Ursine. Like, no, we can adjust for that. Right. And they let your ear, gives your ears comfortable. I will say though, you won't be able to wear this size helmet and a vac helmet at the same time.
Okay.
Because this thing would get in the way of the glass that's covering your head. Well, glass, right. The helmet, I should say.
Right.
Ibba Fatil in a Discord chat. What's this about a side shield helmet? Don't worry about it. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. We may not at all be going up against Shodani Special Forces. Nothing to worry about.
So in essence, if someone does a psi attack on either of you, or an ability, they have to... Right. They minus your psi shield against their target number. Which, if they're really good scion, it won't much matter. But this stops lower level mid-tier scions from being able to do stuff to you. It's high, like, Dukes of the Jordanic Consulate, there's not a whole lot you can do. But then again, they almost never leave the Jordanic Consulate, so it's not much of an issue.
Right, so that's, even mesh is handy in a gunfight.
Yep.
So, okay, so yeah, and then I don't think there's anything else I particularly need to do in the city. Shall we head back to the Starport and the Travelers Hotel and Lounge?
Yeah. It's near where anything that's going to go down is going to go down, and there's a lot of people in there with guns who would like to shoot at people who start shooting at us.
Yep. Well, and we need to set up the electronic drop box for communications with our hacker.
So two of you head back up to the high port.
Yep. Even if we manage to get the expedited shipbuilding permits, we're going to be hanging around for months anyway, so plenty of time to explore the wonders of Darrian.
And you're going to the lounge, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an easy space elevator ride up. You and a bunch of other people are coming and going. There's like cargo containers that go up with you guys. Although they have their own little area, like you can see them across some clear acrylic of some kind or clear alloy, and but it's kind of separating the passenger from the cargo, so you're not around the smell or anything like that. And also people don't go interfering with the cargo that's going up or down. Wait, no, I remember. It's a more advanced area. Yeah, so... You swiftly make your way to the TES member lounge. On the way, you would have... if I could get them, that'd be nice. You know that at Docking Bay R2, you would briefly know of the squad that's standing guard discreetly outside.
I'm glad we sprung for the guys in suits, because their suits probably give them a small amount of psi shielding.
Yeah.
If they're wearing like any kind of powered armor, so that's probably going to be necessary.
Well, and we'll see. I mean, I'm more on an operation like this. I'm more concerned about, somebody manipulating perceptions than direct sonic attack. It seems to me the way to, if they're going about it that way, the thing to do would be to, make people not pay attention to the guy walking with a briefcase towards the docking bay rather than, directly attacking them.
Yeah, I mean, there's the one difficulty in that is the amount. They would have to have someone else handling the hacking, because I do not think psionics are useful at all against machines unless you're like trying to do physical damage.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm making several assumptions here. One, that our hacker is, able to prevent or delay and give us an alert, and two, that even if they manage to get in and get the thing, they still have to exfil, and that's where that might come in. So we'll see. I mean, I may be making the wrong preparations. You never know.
That's the problem. We don't even know that there is a person after the case. We don't really know anything. We just know that we don't want the case stolen. Right. It could be that the case is not in threat. Something else is going on, and we're totally oblivious. But that kind of doesn't matter to us, because the case is all we care about.
I am receiving cryptic warnings about enemies of Iblatil or his peer group. So, I mean, this whole thing may be something completely different, although I can't imagine that I can't imagine that being tied up with our former Confederate. don't know. His murder makes me think it's about the case, but then there's all this other stuff. So I don't know. I mean, we just make the preparations we can and see what happens.
Once the case is sold, there's not really anyone we're gonna fear anymore. So let's get the case sold, and whatever. If they're not trying to steal the case, then whatever problem they are trying to do, we'll have the money from the case to solve.
Arvin kind of looks at you. What do you mean we're not going to have to fear anybody? There's going to be all sorts of people to fear. It's just a whole different class of people to fear.
But when you can afford, to run a starship and walk around in battle armor and afford, troops to protect you on planets, most of your worries go away.
Well, but at that point, your enemies become people who can do all those things too.
But you still had all those enemies beforehand. The corporation that wants to wipe you off the face of the planet for a few credits was going to do so anyway before you got powerful. You're just less convenient to do it to now.
I mean, I get that, but I still think you just change your enemies.
You have less enemies because you always have the terrible enemies who are going to attack you and are powerful enough to do it. It's just that now there are less powerful people compared to you.
Tarbin, give me... Sorry, I lost my difficulty as I was saying it. Yeah. Give me a single die against your sanity.
Oh, somebody is messing with me. I need to put on the helmet. 6, that can't be good.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, the fact that he only had you roll a single die, I think means your sanity is 6 or less. Your sanity at most is 5 now.
Well, my sanity was at most 5 to begin with, because as a scout, after 2 terms, you get -1. But
but you could have rolled as high as 12 or 11, right? On 2d6. No, it would have been 2d6 that he rolled for your original sanity, and then subtract 1 from your scout stuff.
Yeah. Tarbin, I'll say, I'll actually, I can't tell you your number, but I can tell you that was a difficulty curve. The difficulty of the check was easy, so it was 1 die. I will say to you, Tarbin, that there's this sense you feel, this yawning pit of a void that stretches out from here out through the Jordanic consulate and out into the Cold Expedition. And you remember tales of people getting lost. Scouts who would go on a survey and then you'd lose contact, and then people just simply said, well, we're far away from home and every scout is responsible for themselves. And people just moved on. That's a feeling you felt when you were in the scout service. This is a long time ago for you, as I understand. Over what? 4 years ago, at least? More than that?
Yep, 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
5 years ago, you haven't had this feeling. During the war, you didn't feel that yawning pit sensation. Now you feel it. So for a half second, Calcian, you actually notice that Tarbin just kind of stares off for you. You lose him for a good minute. Like he just zones on you.
Back in the nom. I kind of shake my head and go, I think we may be in potentially really deep trouble. I'm going to put on my helmet.
All right, I'll put on the helmet. We can look weird in the TOS lounge together.
I'll actually note that of the people in here, there are some groups of people. There's at least 2 other groups of travelers who are wearing the same stuff you are. Some people in the lounge just kind of give a look of, okay, like, why are people wearing psi helmets? We're in the lounge. What are we worried about? But there's a couple other groups who have the same, who must be going through something similar to you, or just they're particularly jumpy about about psionic abilities. So you don't stand out as much as you might think.
Okay.
Especially with those, you notice they wear the same stuff you do. They wear the advanced versions rather than the bulky versions, because you're on Darrian. Why not spring for the advanced, very light version if you can afford it?
So, yeah, I will, share this kind of sense of loss. I'm not entirely sure where that may be coming from. This is going to be weird since I know the players aren't here, but I'm going to take out my communicator and see if I can't get in touch with any of our three other companions, the Professor, the Baron, or the Baronet, or the vac suit specialist.
What are you trying to determine?
I'm just trying to get in touch with them.
You're able to find you're able to contact Nyuk N, who's having a wonderful time with his new friends. He's met some people he used to know back in the VWU. He's having drinks and stuff. He hopes everything's all right, that sort of thing. But he's working, sort of. But he'll be ready to ship out if need, that sort of thing. So he's in good spirits.
I would warn him not to travel alone, and to make his way back to the Starport and the TAS area.
He'd probably give some level of comfort. Oh, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. That sort of thing.
Okay, warning delivered.
Yep. When you try to contact Baronet Iblif, this is the Dani Consulate Secretariat. How can I help you, Tarvin Arctos? Oh, one moment, please. I am to understand you are a... She switches to, there's a pause because she's speaking Anglic to you at first, and then she switches into Tezettel. And she goes, you're a companion, you're a friend of Iblif, correct?
Yes, I'm in fact trying to get in touch with him.
At present, he is in Congress with his his companions of the consulate. He is on consulate business at the moment. Is there a message you want me to pass to him?
Yes, tell him to be careful. He might best not travel alone, and it might be best for him to make his way back to the High Port and the TAS as soon as he is able.
Gentle Ursine, within the arms of the consulate, none are alone.
Fair enough, but if you could pass on the concerns, I would appreciate it.
The concern will be passed on.
Thank you very much.
And you're able to disconnect that call. That's probably the most... Not often one gets to call a consulate office and get as an imperial citizen and be greeted with a polite voice.
Right.
You try to contact Calvir Tusani and are unable to contact him. Or he isn't picking up, which he pretty much... If you get his message machine, and I won't waste your time. You would probably wait like a few minutes because sometimes he's in the middle of something. He's like listening to a lecture, so he can't talk immediately. So you wait a few minutes and you try again, and nothing. And there's a sort of unspoken rule among travelers that you try to stay in contact with each other.
Right.
Unless you specifically say, I'm going to be out of contact for X reason or Y reason. Like, I'm going to a crime meet, or I'm going to be underground, like, 10 kilometers. You can't talk to me. It's like, okay, well, good to know,
Okay, so, since I did this right at the table, I'm assuming that that I don't have to explain that. I just kind of look across at my companion.
Yeah, Cassian, you haven't been traveling as much, but it's one of those rules you would have picked up on in the TES. Lifetime TES people, the Travelers Aid Society always watches out for each other. And they always suggest people keep in contact with your fellow travelers. That's how you stay alive. Although usually they mean that in the sense of you're on an alien world and not getting lost in a forest, but the rule still applies on populated worlds.
I'll look up the price of like 2 like low-level security guards or something to go check on Calvier, like last known location. Not like heavy dudes with guns and armor and everything, but just like a couple of security guards or something.
They touched your earpieces briefly when you asked them for it, and they.
Oh no, not our people, not these people.
No, there'd be people like the regular security inside. They're dressed like these people are. It's just they're wearing TES colors rather than mercenary colors.
I meant like hiring someone to go do it.
Oh, I suppose you could. Hiring a PI to go look for him. Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were asking. Sorry, I thought you were asking the TES to look into it.
No. I mean, if they do it the same, if they would do what I want them to do for free, then sure. But
they would check if he's in a TES owned facility. If he's outside TES, then they go. We don't. TES doesn't track people outside of their facilities, mainly because they don't want to be seen as interfering with travelers' affairs. They're there as a safe haven, not as your.
Right.
They're not there to look over your shoulder, because most travelers wouldn't some travelers would love it. A lot of them wouldn't.
But before you hire somebody else, do we have a comm code for Ankle Geth, our Vargar friend?
The one that wanted to kill Calvier?
Well, I don't necessarily think she wanted to kill him, but I mean, if we're looking for somebody who might be able to figure out where he was last and have seen him last, it would be some of the people who were chasing him, so those Aslan.
Arctos, give me 2d6 social standing. See if she would have just given that number to you before you left. Normally she wouldn't give that to a client, but she might have just given it just because she liked you.
Looking for 12 on 2. Yes.
Yep, you'd have her comp code number.
She liked because I started the betting pool.
And it's 2 rather than higher because you're also an animal type, animal Sophon, so she's a lot more comfortable around you. You're not Vargar, but whatever. You're not a human. You're not one of humanity. Humanity are weird.
Yeah, I will reach out to her.
Hello. She sounds muffled, like she's on a floor somewhere.
Enkel, this is Tarbin Arctos. We met
loud.
Earlier.
Yes.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I might want to hire some of your crew. It appears that the good professor who left so abruptly and caused such a lucrative spate of gambling has gone missing since some of the people in your favorite haunt, and maybe some of your people, were the last to be near him. Figured they might be the best to see if they can figure out what happened to him.
Yeah, we're gonna need a query roll. She may not be terribly forthcoming about what she knows. Not out of dislike for you, but dislike of him. Oh, I totally forgot,
Yeah, that's fair.
But for all her drunken revelry, she does seem to... Vargar can be more attentive than one would think.
Yeah.
So query 2 dice, page 184, book 1.
Yeah. See if I do appeal to with a payment, that gives me a multiple of times 2.
Appeal to...
I'm appealing to her, for lack of a better term, mercenary sense. Look, I'm paying you
Oh, there's payment right there. Do
to
it.
find information. Yeah, it's a tactic.
How much you're offering?
What's the going rate for investigative services?
If you just wanted to give you pay data, as it were, or just info, you could probably get it with anywhere between 100 to 600 credits. If you wanted to actually hire somebody, then you're looking at a similar scale as, depending on how qualified an investigator you want, it costs more. If you just want some dude who's qualified to do it, who has like a rank or two in it,
Right.
then it would cost like hundreds. If it's more than that, if it's experience, it's hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands.
First, I want any information she or her people might already have, and based on that, maybe hire somebody.
Okay. So you're offering her an amount, and you have a call. Yeah. So payment makes sense. Totally. So 4 times 2, 8. The law in effect. Any of them would give you +1, honestly. It doesn't particularly matter. But in this case, you are superior in the sense that you're higher social standing than she is, and you're the paying customer. So it's a +1. So you're looking at 4, 8, 9.
On 2?
On 2, yes.
Yeah, okay. Hey, just.
400, I'll tell you what I know. And you can base your decision off that.
Sure, I'll transfer 100.
You hear her moving around. There's a small part of you that's probably glad she's not on vid call at the moment.
It's a large part.
My pack never got him. He evaded all of them, so we don't. None of my boys got him. Last we saw him, he was in one of the main thoroughfares, and then we lost. We don't know where he went after that. If you want me to hire someone to sniff after him, a hunter.
Yeah, see what you can find. I need somebody good. So, game terms, her commission plus what it takes to hire a master hunter. Somebody who can move between the neighborhoods we were in and the neighborhoods that where he might have wandered up. Who knows?
If you want a master hunter, which you're looking for a Vargur, if nothing else, I can get you a master hunter sniffing after your friend.
My traveling companion.
Yes, let's go with that. 300,000. And he'll hunt him to the ends of the sector. And if he's not in the sector, he'll tell you which direction he's gone. If you want him to keep looking, he'll keep looking.
Jesus, that's steep.
Yeah, I was talking about hiring like a couple of dudes with maybe a gun and a reflect jacket between them.
Competent, if nothing else, or at least qualified.
Yeah, this is basically gonna be like the company helping a shareholder by finding and making sure he's okay, not like me hiring someone to go on a rescue mission.
Right.
Yeah, because if you get the hunter, like a master hunter, that guy is going to be like one of the legendary Vargur hunters who will sniff him out, use all kinds of tech. Like you're getting like a legendary Vargur hunter, looking for this person,
yeah.
pulling a full-on Boba Fett moment.
I was about to say, I'm not thinking of hiring the Boba Fett who like
Right.
gets Han. I'm thinking about hiring the Boba Fett who gets kicked into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. Less Philip Marlowe and more, somebody else.
If you want one of his apprentices to do it, that would be about 5,000.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, not 5,000. I'm full of crap. 50,000. My bad.
Yeah, I don't really want to spend more than 500.
If you're spending hundreds, you're paying people who are qualified to do the job. They can do, and qualified isn't just complete garbage, because that's people with 0. They can't do it, or they suck at it. Qualified still can do basic investigations. As in, they can do easy tasks
that's like
reliably.
That's like if it's gonna be me or the company paying for it, that's my opinion. But obviously, if Tarbin's spending his own money, then you spend as much as you want.
And if you want someone in someone in the larger hunting pack, because I know a few hunters who could use some extra experience. 5,000.
I'll pay 5.
5K.
Yeah.
Do you just want the one hunter, or do you want more than one? Given that you're hiring someone of the larger hunter pack, one should do it. Like unless he's really hard to find, one hunter, even of the larger pack, should be able to find your friend. He's not exactly.
Well, let's start.
Villani aren't exactly hard to smell.
Yep. Let's start with 1.
Okay. She'll take your money and she'll send the person away.
Thanks.
I went ahead and added that as a liability for the company. So eventually, when the company has money, you'll be reimbursed. But at the moment, it has no money, so
It's fair.
It has an asset, just has no hard cash.
That's right.
it does. I didn't even like truly list it as an asset. I listed we have a contract for the ship, not the actual ship.
It's called creative accounting.
Yeah, no, we've listed I'm about to list the Void Gazer and the Void Gazer's theoretical profits for the next 10 years as like money we actually have on hand. Because that's the kind of stuff you can do.
That's right. So, yeah, okay, so I think we're just kind of in the sit and wait mode to see.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of on the defensive. We don't get to choose. We don't have the initiative. We don't get to choose when things happen.
Yeah.
So you'll hang about the lounge for at least a day?
Sure.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. I don't want to just sit in a chair all day, so I'll take some time until things happen, until I'm needed to go offer skills as a broker to captains that are coming in.
Actually, you know what? What I'll do a similar thing to them. I have an idea. Why'd I go here? I want to go here.
And I'm.
Are you certified broker?
Yes, I think let me double check that because it's only happened for one episode, but yeah, certified broker trader.
What level? Like master, experience, competent?
No, master is impossible because my education.
Oh, I should have read more books.
Competent.
Yeah, give me 3 dice. Intelligence broker. See if you are able to scare up any money.
All right.
Applying your trade as a broker.
And qualifications are not a mod; they're just an enabler, right?
Yeah, there's no. I don't have to. You don't have to do like a personal interaction test to go. Hey, you should totally hire me. You just go. I'm certified, and they go. Oh, well, help me with this then. Certification kind of skips the please hire me stage.
Oh, maybe a mod for having a personal computer to help me manage transactions.
I'll give you +1. Yeah, if you have a personal computer, that makes sense.
Then well, that's a success solely based off my intelligence.
You make 1,000 credits in a day's work. You're not able to trade anything huge, but it's money. 1,000 credits for a day's work is pretty good for a broker, actually. For a competent broker, anyway. Though you could have made way more money. It's just bad luck. That's just what the kind of deals you were brokering weren't huge payouts. Anything Tarbin's doing for that day? For the rest of that day? Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Let me put that in a text I can actually see. Tarbin?
Sorry, I was muted. I'm going to start doing some reading and research to try and find a highly regarded surgeon who does wafer jacks.
On
Darrian.
Yeah.
Just like you would do if you in the States when you have surgery, you go to various medical association sites. You can find out if somebody has performed the procedure and how much, if they've written any articles and whatever, and so you can kind of find a good physician kind of thing.
Sure. I will make this an intelligence check. It would normally be 3 if you're in a hurry, not in a hurry, but but you have like the rest of the day to just idly look over it. I'll knock it down to 2 days. So you can actually get a pretty good read. You can spend a good time reading over everything. And I'll give you +1 because you're looking up stuff in the TES lounge in a place where it's information rich. The Darrian are very eager to share the information they have.
Okay.
Benefits of being on a xenophilic world.
Okay.
That has the tech to help you. Xenophilic world, but everyone's at Stone Age. Well, I'm glad you all want to tell me who your favorite medicine man is, but it's going to take... How long will you find out? I'll give it a month or 2. We'll have a rider look around and ask. Thanks. I'll get back in my spaceship now.
11 on 2. Hey.
You're able to find at least 5 different experienced and qualified 5 experienced waferjack surgeons, or specialists, I should say. There's all kinds of surgeons on a planet this populated, but there's like 5 names that jump at you as like, yeah, these are guys that are used to dealing with Ursines, that are used to dealing with Offworlders, that are used to dealing with waferjacks. Like any cyber surgeon could do it, but it's like, yeah, but these guys, you're able to narrow it to a point that it's as useful as possible for you.
Cool. Because, I mean, if you're going to risk sanity,
yeah,
might as well just risk sanity. Although I don't think it's the actual wafer jack, it's the wafers that get you.
Yep. After the first day, it is now 216, 1,111. Your payday is on 240, or your payout day, your bills day. There we go. You get contacted back by your Vargar friend.
Okay.
Tarbin, is it? Yes?
Yep.
Good. I dialed the right number finally. So they sniffed around in the Star Town. He is spent all last day sniffing for him. They did smell his scent in the thoroughfare where we told him, and then they said his scent just didn't go anywhere. Like he stopped. And then he wasn't there anymore. He double checked to make sure with a sniffer, like a mechanical sniffer, just to make sure he wasn't have a, problems with that. But no, that's it's as if he just vanished.
No scent of, I don't know, vehicle or heated metal or.
No, that's what we thought too. He did check around in the Star Town though, just in case maybe. Does your friend have like some sort of gadget or some Villani nonsense that hides his scent? Maybe he did that to throw us off.
Not that I'm aware of. I've certainly never seen him use it. All right.
But he's not in the Star Town. He can keep looking elsewhere on the planet, but we know he's nowhere in the Star Town. Or if he's in the high port, you would have found him. And he's not in the low port. He's not in the Star Town. If he's in the high, he might be in the high port. But I would think you would have found him already if he was up there. But we'll send him up there just to be sure, and we'll send him elsewhere on the planet to sniff around. The thing is, we don't know how he was moved. We don't know because there was the smell of vehicles and stuff in the area, but nothing close to him because he was in one of the walking thoroughfares where the shops are. Like it's a touristville. If you would have passed it and seen all the street stalls and the clothes and stuff.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? If his scent just disappeared, picking it up again is going to be nigh impossible if it wasn't in the immediate area. All right. Yep. Good work from your guy. I think we'll look at some other avenues from here.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks for the money.
Yeah, so I'll let Calcian know about this and ask him if you have any kind of technology that just snatches somebody up and away.
No. That's ancient stuff.
Yeah, so has Tarbin ever heard of any kind of, teleportation or some sort of, super clean? I don't know.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Teleportation is like ancients level type.
Right.
So I wouldn't. There's no one I would have ever encountered that would know.
You would have to give me.
Or like if there's some sort of Jordani psychic ability to do it, or
give me education plus a skill you think would help with this. How many dice, you ask? I'm glad you asked. I would call it 3 dice.
what's the deal with career knowledge? For every term you're away from it, you lose 1. You have 1 point of career knowledge for every term you spent in a career.
Yep.
Okay. What about archaeology? Or scout career knowledge?
Either of those could work, yeah. For different reasons.
Okay. or do you like maybe Navy career knowledge?
I would take Navy career knowledge.
Okay, that's lower, but that'll be okay. It's you said 3?
Yeah.
Okay, 11 on 3. Just over.
Yeah, your experience in the Navy didn't really help you
That's fair.
figure that out. You can try a different skill. You just can't use Navy to answer that question. But off the top of your head, there's nothing in the Navy that you're familiar with. Your time in the Imperial Navy didn't tell you anything about that.
That's fair enough. Okay, let's try Scout. That's 12 on 3. There we go. Something about it.
You need to give me one more die, though.
Oh, sorry. Didn't change the thing in the roller. Nope. Oh well, I don't know shit about you. Okay, so I don't know any kind of technology. I haven't even heard of any kind of technology that do what we're talking about. If Bliff were here, he might be able to tell us something, but
Well, we've appropriately hired someone to find him. They've made a report back,
right.
and we are incorporated in such a legal way that if he does go missing, his shares revert to the corporation. So, the problem solved. This is why I did this.
Well, that's fair enough.
So it's all a ploy by Calcian to steal your shares.
Yep.
He was a schemer after all.
I wasn't. I was not. I'm not gonna kill you. But if you die, right?
Or go
that's not my
missing
fault.
due to some rogue friends you might have.
That's why I said we hired someone. We did our due diligence.
My Shadowrun vibes are clicking at the moment, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The company spent a whole 5,000 credits in due diligence to find him.
Still, I mean, that's kind of mysterious. I do think we're dealing with some real heavies here, one way or another. Although I'm not sure why.
Well,
So,
it's
yeah,
the
I
case.
guess spending the day researching and whatever, and then
I could you could try insight, because insight is something that helps you understand a situation beyond the ordinary limits of knowledge and logic. You may just intuit what's going on.
that's you, Calcian. I just have curiosity.
Curiosity is another way to do it, as you wonder at it. Why? That is another way you can do it, is wonder.
Still
I'll-
rolling
I'll-
3, or
If you're at double digit, if you're above 7, you're rolling. No. If you roll 2, if you're above 7 with your 7, and once you go below 7, you're rolling a single die on intuition.
okay, I'd be rolling 8 on. Well, intuition's all you, or insights. Well, curiosity, I'm rolling 8 on 2.
I'll roll insight, and if it doesn't
Okay.
work, you can roll. I failed.
Hey, just made it.
Wait, huh?
I have 8 curiosity, and I rolled a 6 on 2.
Oh, I had you 2 backwards. My bad. Oh yeah, wait. One of you has insight and curiosity, and one of you has. No.
I
One of you
have-
has
I have
insight.
Insight and luck.
Right.
Ugh.
Sorry, one person has insight, one person has curiosity and luck.
No, other way. One person has curiosity, one person has insight and luck.
But insight's for the person in first place. Curiosity second place. Luck is lowest. So whoever second is would have curiosity and luck.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'm rolling insight.
Yeah.
Same
then
number.
Yeah, the insight succeeded. The curiosity did.
Right. I just want to make sure which way I was going with the intuition. I was like, wait, hold on. Yeah, no. Hey, Tarbin,
Yeah.
weren't you teleported once?
I guess so.
Yeah, you were in deep space, right? You were in a EVA suit and everything, and then you teleported.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Crap.
And I wonder who did that, and how.
It's Shadani mindfuckery.
because teleportation is a psionic power. Though it's a power that you would need a stage 3 scion to do it. So someone who either is a Jordani noble or functionary, or someone who has had extensive psionic training. You could totally just teleport someone out of thin air like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's intuition. It takes you a minute to kind of remember that particular insight jumps out at you.
The player is feeling stupid now. But I think I would remember getting teleported out of space, but okay. It's a good thing I take all of these fucking notes.
Oh, God. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, that's the Jordani are. we may already be running into their special forces. Which makes me wonder. I mean, if they managed to shut down the security, they wouldn't have to send anybody in there. They get the artifact.
Well, I would rephrase that question and say, if we're dealing with high-level scions, then whatever we want is immaterial. There is no reasonable defense. There's no fighting them. That's why so many people hate them. That's why we don't want them to be around us. Because there's nothing you can do about it.
Fair enough. I mean,
if they can teleport the case, they can teleport the case. You can't stop them unless the vault's got heavy psi shielding, and if they find a way around the psi shielding, then
right.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, when you're dealing with high enough level scions, what you want has become a moot point. It's what they want.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, then I think we've done everything we can security-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, without
the problem is we may be able to do more, but we don't know what we're defending. We don't know what the other people on the board are even attempting.
Right. Iblif is who we need in this situation. But he's off doing stuff for the consulate, apparently. So, is Instalarms is an Imperial, not a Jordani company,
Correct.
Right? Okay. So, I mean, I wonder if they lifted this from a Jordani. If it even had, if the Jordani in this situation even have anything to do with. So, yeah, I mean, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna try and let's see if I can do another insight roll just for shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
Tarvin's gonna sit back in his room after activating the special extra security they told me about, and just kind of take some notes on my pad and try and look over everything that I know, and I'm kind of guessing and see if I can get any insight about. Why the Jordani are taking, or some sort of Jordani are taking such an interest in all of us all of a sudden. Hey, I just hit it with with a 7.
Well, remember, the people who... There's two sides to this that your insight peers into.
Right.
One, this special force unit can be hired for security measures.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're after the artifact, and they might be after the people who are in possession or control of the artifact.
Right.
But then the question becomes, as you push forward, that why would the Jordani consulate care? Because special forces don't do stuff unless it helps the consulate in some way. That's kind of their limiter. Yes, they're psychics and all that, but if it doesn't help the consulate, they won't help, no matter how much you pay them. This is a Darrian artifact of some kind. Even if all they get to do is examine it and scan it, that is information that is incredibly valuable, or they might even just buy it they might find it, recover it, and then just give Instell Arms money back. Here, we'll pay you for this stupid thing, because we think it's really cool, or we don't like it, we'll take our cut, but thanks for letting us know it exists. Now it's in our record somewhere in the consulate, that this is artifact number A-C, whatever.
Right.
Which, that's partly why Iblith is out of the equation. Because as a noble, he's someone that the Special Forces isn't supposed to hurt unless he's committed a crime.
Right.
But you're not of the consulate, so they're not as concerned with pissing you off, but they are concerned with pissing him off.
So the consulate have basically arrested him until they can get this fixed?
They put him into... His fellow companions have put him into protective custody. They just haven't said it that way. Because like, no, let's keep you out of the line of fire for a bit until the smoke clears. As much as the consulate pretends it's so, the consulate is not a monolith. There are factions within factions. And he is but a baronet.
Fair enough. We could always approach the Jordani consulate and, say that our intention is to sell the artifact, and they could put in appropriate bids.
Yeah, I thought about that. The only thing is, I'm worried about if they find our broker, they may remove him from the board.
Well, if we were going to make approaches to them, we'd make approaches to them through our broker, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We tell our broker, see if the Jordani want to buy this, and the Jordani say, these relatively powerless travelers, right, let's just kidnap their broker and then force them to give it to us or take it from them, because what are they going to do? Okay.
Well, the problem they run into there is, our broker is not some small fry. Knowles is a big deal in the Darrian Confederacy. The other thing we run into is if something should go wrong and their kind of involvement in some not too hinky things against, say, the TAS comes out. I think there are a lot of ways that this could be politically damaging to the Jordani consulate if they are forced to go through the illegal or direct action route that they could avoid by just making the best offer.
Then I think we take two approaches. The first is let's have our broker try to approach them to sell. And let's try to make it look like we're just searching for potential buyers. We're not trying to sell it to them to stop them looking at us. because if Tarbin is kind of confident that this special forces unit that's coming to this dock is involved here, the other thing we can do is we can just meet. Right, they dock, they start walking off the gangplank. We can just meet them with our toughs, right, and tell them, we know what you're here for, right, and if you do anything, we're going to fight back. Because they may be a whole lot more gun-shy about trying to pull this off if they don't get any element of surprise. So, like, because I'm only half confident that trying to sell it to the broker will work. So I feel like we need, if we're pretty confident it's them, then maybe we do have an advantage here.
Well, I bet, I think the broker, going through the broker works both ways, because that is us telling them, look, we know you guys have been hired and are, are involved in trying to get this, we can, make this really embarrassing and hard for you, or you could just, make the best offer.
I don't want to let them know beforehand so that they don't send the special forces somewhere else. To another dock, to land on the planet first. Right. I'd kind of like, while we're talking to them sending in their biggest asset, right? They're moving the queen across the board to come after us, except we know where it's headed, and our queen and bishops are there too, right?
Unless the special forces is already here, the dock is just reserved for when they extract the case, and they're already taking moves against us via kidnapping the professor.
I mean,
in
possible.
Any event, I think we need to warn Deck Nulls that.
Yeah, and I think he needs to reach out to the consulate. I just don't think he should try to convince them to deal with this because we know already. I think he should just reach out as you're the Zoldani consulate. You can deal in resource units. I'm looking for people who can deal in resource units to buy this thing.
If he's willing to, because he's Darrian. So, let's set up
he kind of he doesn't really get a choice. He can either not sell the artifact, or he can sell it to the people we ask him to try to sell it to, because he doesn't have it, and he can't get it without us.
Right. Well, let's meet with him either electronically or in person.
I think
whatever.
Electronically.
Okay.
I don't want to leave the TS lounge.
Yeah. I mean, he could come to us.
I would prefer him not to. I would prefer him to be wherever he is secure.
Okay.
So you call it Deck Nulls?
Yeah, we'll make an arrangement. We need a secure conference with him.
Are you just talking to him at your table, or are you going to go to a private conference room?
Well, yeah, we'll hire one of the business suite or whatever.
Yep, easily done. Question mark? Where did my thing go?
Oh, I also send a flash update real quick to our little security team there that there's a possibility that the hostiles we're asking them to look out for are psionic, so they should take appropriate steps.
They acknowledge the information and thank you for the update. And they let you know that they're going to promptly they're going to switch their helmets to side shield helmets instead. For specifically that problem. And they're going to reorient themselves so they're not... so they buddy up. Because it's hard to do psychic stuff to more than one person at a time. And coordinating adds complications. So They've now changed their tactics and their gear, so they're actually well prepared for it. Even the people outside can prepare for it now. They just make sure they're standing in places where it's hard to be attacked without being noticed that you're being attacked, while still blending in. So they just changed what they're doing.
I'm starting to understand why people outside the Jordani consulate really don't like people inside the Jordani consulate. Perhaps a purge is needed.
They're difficult adversaries.
See also why the Jordani consulate had their entire their state security force is all Scions.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
See also why Imperial Navy ships have that whole extra armor layer of anti-psionic whatever it is.
And a lot of fire first, ask questions later. It's like, whoa, that seems really hostile of you. Yeah, so you don't do your weird psychic stuff on us. Right. We're not even going to give you the chance to do it.
All right, computers are just programmed. Oh, Jordani. So yeah, let's see if we can't get in touch with Deck Nulls.
I have him here. Did I move his token away? I did.
You think we should have him also like open it up to the Imperium as well? Let's get a three-way.
I think so. If we get rid of the case, they no longer care about us, right? Because they care about the case. They don't care about us. They're not the Jordani. I don't think are in this to spite us. Like Instella Arms would like the case back probably, and would like to kill us for having inconvenienced them.
Right.
But I think the Jordani consulate do not care one bit about us. They just want the case. So if we sold it to the Imperials, they would entirely refocus, I think. Right? We become nothing to them.
So yeah, let's let's put it on the open market and let everybody know that it's on the open market.
Oh, before we do that, did we get like a proper certificate of death for our friend so we can actually get the case?
You listed him as missing.
Yeah, but they said they were still running some tests and that it would be. Hold on, I have this in my notes.
Because I don't think we want to list it until we can actually get to it. He's also
we're still
already
on some sort of
oh, go ahead.
Medical report from the planet below on whether he was. I don't have the time frame they gave us, but I was thinking it was measured in, days, not months.
Yeah, there's a few days they'd have to work on it to verify. Because the problem was they were trying to figure out. Because you were asking for them to verify if the body was in fact
if it was
him.
Actually his, right? Because I mean, hey, we're dealing with people who can teleport people right off the street theoretically. So why couldn't they fake a body?
You would get an up. Oh wait, no, I think they may have said this much, but I rolled flex just to make sure they knew. But you would get an affirmation, if not a reaffirmation, because I might have said this already. I forget if I have. That they believe. Oh, that's right. They suspected. They didn't know for sure. Right. So before
they said the preponderance of evidence is that the body is that of Kyrdes, but there's still some doubt.
Yeah.
That they have to clear up before it's 100%.
Which means. Oh, that's. You said the word. That's exactly what I was doing. I understand what I was trying to do now. Yay. That's from one of the charts. That's why and that reminded me what I was doing. Do. Which means that dice roll still applies. I can use that. Okay. You are contacted again on this new day as you're getting ready to call Deck Nulls and you get the conference room set up. You get an update from the surface, and they now have, beyond a reasonable doubt, they believe that this is a clone body. facsimile of the person who's missing, of Kirti Igam. So they don't. Someone cloned the body, and they actually checked against the Highport immigration database. He wasn't. That doesn't match what they have. Now there's a possibility. There's a shadow of a doubt, just a barest shadow that maybe he hid that he was a clone this whole time, and maybe the Highport didn't figure that out. But that's a lot of maybes. That's a lot of effort. There's no law against cloning in the Imperium or in the Darrian Confederation or the Sword Worlds. No one cares about none of these. The only people who care about clones are the Zolmani Confederation. They're the only ones who would be upset about it. So they're like, it's possible he hid that he was a clone this whole time, but we don't think he was. We're pretty sure that this is a clone that was put in that room.
So, what I'm thinking is, so that we can get rid of this, we don't lock ourselves into rescuing him. What we do instead is we try to grease the right palms and convince them that he did tell us a few things that made it seem like he was a clone, and so the person who signed that TAS agreement to lock the case up was the clone, and the clone is dead. So we're the only signatories left alive. Give us full control of the case, and then I'll tell the law firm when we sell this to put his share in escrow until we confirm the real guy died. That way, if we do find him, we can give him his money, because that's all he wanted. He didn't care about keeping the artifact. He just wanted his money. So then we can give him his money so he doesn't come after us, and you wanted to hire him or something, so maybe we can hire him. But that way we can get control of the case. Because
Sorry,
if we
mouthful of food.
Because if we don't, we can't sell it because we're not going to rob the TAS.
Right.
So I think we try to convince them that it lines up with what we expected, that he was a clone. Could you please list him as dead? And then on our own, we'll keep his money in escrow until we're certain or not. Because we don't particularly want a master thief coming after us.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm willing to go that route.
Then can I write up like a affidavit or something of we had expected that he was a clone. He had said some things that made it seem like he talked about himself in a way that a clone would refer to their identity. And basically convince them that he is dead. Please write a death certificate and give it to us. If you need extra funding for more hours of lab work, I'm willing to personally fund your lab work.
Sounds like a personal interaction here.
Well,
Yes.
hold on. Let's be sure that, because he put his hand on that thing in the vault. We need to make sure that that's not going to come back and bite us in our ass, and then we're shown to be lying.
What do you mean?
Like when they scanned his biometrics, if they look at that, is that biometrics alone going to be able to tell them?
You're saying if the TAS say, oh, this death certificate, this has to be investigated. Let's go check his actual hand and see if his hand matches the one that made the. You're talking about like that? Like if the TAS send like a super investigator to double check all this.
Well, all I'm saying is it may not even have to be a super investigator, because they're already saying like it's a possibility that it didn't get scanned.
Okay, what if we add to the what if we also add that he had a religious affiliation that believes in bodily destruction, like he needs to be cremated?
Are you trying to convince the TAS of this, or the lab
No.
that you're getting that you got?
Trying to tell the lab, like, please give us the death certificate and burn his body. I mean, I don't particularly care about the body part, but I guess if Tarvin feels like it's likely the TAS are going to look into this, then
Well, yeah, because that's my only concern, because it's not, this is a law enforcement matter. So, I mean, the thing is, if there's a slight possibility that the TAS scanners missed it, are they going to go back and go, oh, well, he provided his biometrics. Well, look, whoever provided his biometrics wasn't a clone. Dun dun dun. And then we've lied about all this, and then we're in super deep shit. And I don't want us to go too far out on a limb before we cover our bases. So I say we ask the TAS to double check that biometric data and then see where we're at.
well, no, we don't want the TAS to think that he's been captured, because if they think he's still alive, we'll never get control of the case until we find and rescue him. I don't want us to have to rescue him.
See, but I'm thinking that, if we are able to make a case that he's been kidnapped, he's a missing person, that the heat from that makes whoever, puts more pressure on whoever does have him. Puts them in a less and less tenable position.
Is there some kind of like hole in the contract that, like, if someone's kidnapped, like, we can go through a legal process to have them removed from the vault record?
I would require an advocate role for that.
Why don't we ask our law firm to look into?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, what's the role?
None of your business. It's 8. No, I'm just kidding. One moment. I wasn't looking up until I was sure you were doing it. I was like, just because sometimes bring up the word advocates, like, we're not doing it. Like, well, I'm not looking it up now.
Well, I forgot I had Jack of all trades, so if it's like a 2 or even a 3d6, I might just take a stab at it.
Phrasing. Admin, that's the word. No. It would be yeah, I'll take that. It'd be 4 dice education advocate. To figure out if there's a hole in the contract you could exploit to your gain.
If I'm remembering your education properly, then we ought to just ask our law firm to do it.
There's no downside if I fail, right?
You just don't know. Yeah, you
I just don't know.
Yeah. Though there is a downside if you roll 3 6s.
I mean, at the same time, if I roll 3 1s, then
Something
we
awesome
could probably
happens.
just go get the case.
Yeah. It's like it's already voided the minute he was kidnapped. That you could have gotten it this whole damn time.
That's not. I mean, that's a pretty good roll, but the roll needed to be 8. Yeah, it needed to be 8, so that's a failure.
So you want the law firm to look into it?
Yeah.
Oh, they made it. I rolled their skill. I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this for quick rolls. I'm basically using their competency level to decide how good they are at this particular problem, and then rolling the difficulty. So they had
that. I worry about that, because that means the lower dice you have, the less likely a competent law firm is able to do anything, right? Because if they had a 2d6 and you rolled the difficulty, even our 5D law firm is going to be struggling all the time.
Well, I'm trying it out for now. I wanted to see if it worked, but for now it's in your favor. So there is a if he's been missing considered irrecoverable, as in you don't know his location, you have no decent leads, that sort of thing. Like he didn't leave a note or anything like that. Like a what's the phrase? A involuntary absentee, otherwise known as kidnapped. Then he would be you as the majority other people, if they're found not to be in any suspicion of having had him kidnapped, could apply for him, and the law firm could apply for him to be listed as presumed dead until otherwise proven, and then that washes him away from the lock, and then the two key holders would still be able to unlock it.
Okay.
And at present, from what they see, they don't see any legal move. The police aren't looking at you at his disappearance because the TS looked into you guys right away and secured you and said, "Are you the guys who did it?" It's like, well, what happened to the body? You guys have evidence that the body is not his. So, and as far as and normally someone say, "Well, we'll search your ship for his body." You don't have one. So it's like, and you have no pending ships out, so you didn't hire a ship to hide him. At most, you may have gone to the Star Town to hide his body. That wouldn't take the Darrians long to figure that out. the idea that the evidence that you are possibly involved to his disappearance is insanely low. So unless someone really, really wants to go to court over this, you'll probably get in, which they wouldn't see. They don't. They always acknowledge the possibility of a risk, but the risk is intensely low to them.
Oh, then we'll just ask the law firm to begin the paperwork with the TAS. Let us know when he's been scrubbed. Right? There's no convincing on our part. Our law firm just needs to send the appropriate documents, right?
You get a digital update from the TAS. They've let you know that the status of your contract regarding your case has changed.
Okay, now we can talk to Technulls.
There we go.
Unless we need to deal with anything else first.
Oh,
is there anything?
Is there anything else you need to deal with first?
No, I was joking.
Yes, because this game is the Inslee and Winchester argue their way around to a point eventually. Okay.
Hey, Traveler sometimes. What combination of skills gets us what we want without getting us killed?
Well, there's so many things going on here that we have to double check everything we've done.
Because it is one of those, okay, if we go this way, that might work, but it also might wind us getting us in deeper shit.
Yeah, you're able to get Decknells on screen. You see a holographic three-dimensional image of him appear in the room.
Is this a secure channel?
Yes, it is.
Are you in an environment that is as secure as possible from, well, maybe not as possible, but are you in a relatively psionically secure area?
I would say so, I suppose.
Excellent. And then I'll kind of hand it over to Calcium.
We would like you, on our behalf, to begin searching for customers. We have control of the case completely and can hand it over as soon as you find a buyer. I know you've been looking for buyers already, but we would prefer if you could check with the Joldani consulate and the Empire as clients. Obviously,
well as the Darrian government.
As well as the Darrian government. We prefer the Darrian government and the Empire over the Joldani consulate, but the Joldani consulate is not off the list.
Oh, you mean the Imperium, right?
Yes, the Imperium.
The reason he clarifies is because there are pocket empires. It's like, the Empire's like, well, you're a Confederation citizen, so which I presume you mean the Imperium, because that's usually what people mean. But he's making sure, he's like, wait, hold on, just to make sure I didn't misunderstand.
There are other things that call themselves empires. There is one thing that is so massive that it can be referred to as the Empire.
Yeah. But Deckdell is the sort who will double check, like, oh, just in case I misunderstood. Yeah, but he goes.
No, we want to make some tin pot dictator with 3 planets the most powerful person in the universe.
And then he promptly gets squished. Oh,
Yeah.
nice
Go
research.
right until the Zodani show up.
Not only did you lose a resource unit buying the stupid thing, you pocket empire, now you have the attention of a mega corporation in the Jordani consulate. Good luck, friend. Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, your one like 50,000 ton warship is not gonna help you here.
So you're trying to, shall we say, persuade the Jordani to take up this deal? With this guy's help?
No. What we want is for him to sell it, but we want him to include the Jordani on the list of potential sellers. Like, we don't care if the Jordani are the actual buyers.
Okay.
But we know they're interested, so we want to add them to the list in case they speed this process up by just buying it.
Dacknall just nods and he taps on a screen. You see a computer briefly appear in the hologram as he's tapping at something. You wouldn't be able to see what he's typing, but you can see he's interacting with something in his office.
Is he trying to figure out if the Jordani are in our brains telling him this?
Oh. I got an offer immediately. He looks puzzled. That?
From
the Jordani consulate.
For what price? The price of we don't kill you, probably.
The GM is thinking.
I got a historic Texas flag in reply to that. Of course, it didn't end well for the little Texas town with cannon, but hey.
Everything gets super easy if the enemy likes taking naps in random swamps.
Give me... Because I'm split on what I want to do here. You're going to get something. I just have to figure out which one. Let's go with...
You can give me a resource unit.
Give me 4 dice against your social standing plus 3, because Dacknall is helping you. If there's a skill you think will help impress the Jordani into willing to give you a lot more money. It's the difference between getting mega credits and getting a resource unit. That's where my head's at right now. A resource unit is a lot of money, and I'm not sure how willing the
Trader
are willing to. Trader, yep. 100%.
I know what I have.
Yep, trader works.
2d6? You said?
4.
Oh no, you said 4.
4.
Sorry.
Someone's trying to trick me. No, I just misspoke. If Arctos, if you have Trader or Jack, you could assist.
Yeah, I've got a trader of 4.
Well, hell yeah, you could totally assist with this. Between the 3 of you, you're trying to figure out how you could turn the consulate's arm to make sure it's a resource unit rather than mega credits.
We'll look after your baronet. In the wilds. That's what we'll do.
Oh, actually, before you roll, I have a suggestion.
Okay.
You could turn this. The 4 dice can be is a test to make it a mega credit. A
resource unit.
Thank you. A resource unit. If you make it 5 dice, turn it to a staggering roll. If you get that, not only do you get the resource unit, but they will sponsor speeding up your ship build.
Okay, so we're getting Your social standing is a 12, right?
Hold on. I'm about to give you the numbers. I got the calculator open. I'm about to give you everything.
So +3 for Technols, +4 for Tarvin's Trader.
So if we do this 46, we have a 99% chance of success. This does not take into account 3d6. If we do 5, we have a 90% chance.
Go for the big money.
Yep. 5d6, GM.
Okay.
Failing on 24 or higher, so succeeding
Or
on
360.
20.
I can't think of anything hopeless that they could give you that you would want, because that would involve joining the genetic consulate, which kind of takes you away from traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Like if you want an entry into one of the Sonic colleges or something and be registered as a Jordani noble, but I don't think you want to go that route.
No,
If we
I
get
want
the resource unit, we can buy our titles.
I was about to say, in fact, I do want higher Darrian titles, but I think for that I'd have to sell to the Darrians.
Yeah. Because hopeless, they give you the resource, the ship, and they would give you sponsorship to one of their psychic academies. Because if you're being inducted as a Jordani noble, you'd have to actually, be psychic, because that's the law.
All right, so I'm thinking if this roll fails, so they only offer mega credits.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think either way, we still should court a Darrian offer, but right, we shouldn't just automatically accept the Zildani offer.
I don't know, man. I mean, they're coming after us with.
Like they instantly replied to him. He put it out, and then the Jordani went, click, hi, we want to talk. Like, whoa, that was quick. I just put it on the listing 5 minutes ago.
I want to be Duke Langhoff.
Yeah, but as you pointed out, they are already arranging forces against us that there's no effective defense.
You're right, so. And I think I've spent 100,000 credits in the last 2 days trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
I think you made it.
Yeah, we did make it. Too bad we didn't get triple ones, or we might have just ended the game because we. How do you play a game where you have 10 resource units?
You make Pocket Empire. There's rules for that.
Oh.
I mean, in the older Travelers, but I just transfer them up.
Oh, it's probably somewhere in one of the 3 books, I'm sure.
With triple ones, I could have been Emperor Langhoff.
Well, I mean Pocket Empire, but still.
There's probably Empire Builder.
Yeah.
Systems.
Not in the 3 books per se, but there's previous books that would cover it. But anyway, they're willing to offer a resource unit, and you went for broke with the staggering roll, so they are also willing to sponsor your ship being built rapidly.
Well, heck yeah.
All right.
Well, where do they want us to meet them and hand over the stuff?
They are willing to either he would say to you guys, Decknells would tell you where there's possible. He wouldn't ask them. He'd ask you. Tell you. There's a couple ways we can do this. We can either meet here at my office. They can meet you at the TAS lounge, or that you can meet them at the consulate. It just depends where you feel the deal is the most in their favor if it's at the consulate here, at one of their embassies. If it's here, it's the most neutral for both parties. If you ask them to go to TS Lounge, that's neutral in a different sense, but because you're lifetime members, you do have a big advantage. The TS will defend you if they try to do something weird. I don't think they will. And we have our own
soldiers there.
Yeah. I don't think, I mean, if this is going through official, consulate channels, I'm speaking with functionaries on their end. So I'm dealing with the actual consulate government.
Why don't we say we'll meet them in the TAS lounge, so they'll have because they already have a team nearby and a ship to retrieve the item on.
Why don't we say we'll meet them in the docking bay?
Yeah.
We'll have it reserved.
We'll bring it to your docking bay. under guard.
Right.
Like you're gonna walk into their docking bay?
Well, they have a reserved. Well, I don't know. We don't know.
Let's not. Yeah, there's no reason to get into it with to explain this to you.
Okay. If you're comfortable with it, I can tell them.
Yeah,
to dock.
tell them we'll bring it to their docking bay under guard.
Well, when would you want them to do it? Because we can largely set the time within reason. Like, I wouldn't make them wait any longer than a week if you wanted to meet them.
Tell them as soon as you have received the funds in escrow, we'll deliver the case, and then they will release the funds. It's like, we could do this in 10 minutes.
Calcian, give me 2 dice intelligence. Something I want to point out, but I don't want to give it to you for free.
I'd be suggesting skills.
Feel free to suggest skills. Something to remember something or recall something. Something to do with spaceships in some regard. Streetwise, I suppose, would work, yeah.
Success.
Yeah, so their ship isn't arriving until 3 days from now. So you could 10 minutes from now and walk up to the dock. They can't go any faster.
Right.
Ships only move so fast. Faster than light is always weak.
I don't want to wait that long in case the left hand isn't talking to the right hand and the right hand still wants to murder us. So
right, but I'm saying maybe we do meet somewhere
in the TAS
facilities, because that way we're not carrying around the case any longer than we have to.
Let's tell them they can come. They can meet us at the TAS vault. We'll hand it over in front of the vault. In as soon as they can get someone here to retrieve. Like as soon as they can get their people to the TAS lounge, they can have it.
Okay, I'll let them know.
They just bought something worth a resource unit like faster than I can deliver pizza. Order pizza.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it is the government. I mean,
it's an interstellar power with thousands of years of history.
Yeah, but like
it communicates
our government,
so they don't really have to debate.
I was about to say, like, our government can't buy like a pizza without like an act of Congress.
Let's not get into our government. Oh my God, no.
Well, welcome to the far future, where far more enlightened governments persist. Generally,
I'm not sure if I call the Jordani consulate enlightened per se, but whatever.
Oh, that's your Zolomani thinking there. Yeah.
Because
I will say they definitely will enlighten you. It'll just like liquefy your brain in the process.
Yeah, because it's not like the plebeians or anything like Sonic and controlled serfs. No, that's not at all what it's.
They're not controlled. They're just kept in line and corrected.
Yeah, they're just.
They're re-educated for their own benefit.
Can we not talk about how bad the Jordani are when we're selling them this thing? Let's wait till after we've sold it to them to discuss how terrible people they are.
Yes,
just saying their government is efficient, just not necessarily a system you want to live under.
But yes, Decknalls is able to make that arrangement for you. And do you just wait at the lounge for someone to show up?
Oh, who is the equivalent of the Emperor on Darrian? Because there's no Emperor, right? There's going to be some council that like governs the nobility.
I believe it's like the Supreme Council of the Confederacy or something like that. Like the Darrian, the Darrian Council or something like that.
It's a feudal system, so like there's probably like
Well, it's feudal equivalent.
Duke. Yeah.
So there's probably a council of dukes that because they don't have an emperor person. There's probably like an archduke and then the most archduke or whatever like in the Darrian language. Like they're the equivalent, but they're very because each world is semi-independent, but they work toward common end and then meet at Darrian for Confederation-wide issues.
All right, then can I send like a memo to my duke and say like I've come into a ludicrous amount of money. Is there a weakened duchy or a duchy that the council's looking to place someone in charge of, or like basically any title higher than mine.
So if you're
I
speaking
have
with,
the money.
if you want to send your Duke a message by express vote.
I assumed he didn't actually live and rule from his place. Like, he'd want to be on
Mo-
the home world, because that's where the power is.
Most nobles do. Well, because his power is Zameen itself. That's
Okay.
he is in control of that entire star as a duke. He's in control of that main world and all the in the entire star system. That's his star system. If not as a duke, he may even control more than one. Like he probably controls Zameen and Darrian 340 or something like that. Like Zameen's his home, and then there's another one he's in control of.
Then is there someone else who would be like? I guess let me describe more of what I'm trying to do, because maybe then you'll point me to the right person.
Mm-hmm.
I have obviously come into mega credits.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to purchase a higher title, whether that requires direct purchase, as in if you can afford to purchase the title from the state, you can have it, or if that's you need to give us this money so we can oust this other person and give you his title. Either way, I'm up for it.
Give me, to know exactly who that is, it would be education. How difficult? It's not terribly difficult. They wouldn't hide this information really. Even if it was. Since you're setting when the meeting's happening, you can take your time and be a little cautious in looking this up properly. So I call this 2 dice education plus your noble job skill.
I never served as a noble.
Oh. Any skill that may help you with this? In understanding the
Yeah,
governance of the legal system, legal system of the Darrian, or of noble structures, patents, nobility, and whatnot. Otherwise, Jack, frankly.
Yeah, it's probably just jack of all trades.
Yeah. But 2 dice education plus Jack. Oh, did you just do it, or?
No,
Oh.
I haven't done it yet.
Okay, sorry.
I wish. That would actually have been a success. Did I? Why did I roll the 2d6? Oh, you had me make... No?
Oh, yeah.
That
It's for me to remind you about the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I forgot why that rule existed.
Is there any scheme here which helps me flip Is there any scheme which helps me flip the Sword World Bearer proxy to make either this or actually getting the title easier?
It's not so much. It's not. You're not performing the task. You're trying to figure out who you even need to talk to. That's on world. Because the easy answer is talk to your Duke back on Zameen. But it's like, who can I talk to here that can get me that? It's like that's not something you normally would know off the top of your head.
Yeah, I was hoping, if necessary, someone who wanted that proxy might know. Because I'm working uphill here on education.
Yeah.
But if it can't be, then I'll just success, because jack of all trades plus education is 8.
So, let me check something here. Oops, no. That way. Thank you. Doop, doop.
Oh, also, have we just been using an incorrect normal or number, or are we actually treating a resource unit as that it is directly equivalent to a billion credits?
A research unit is is a stupid amount of money and a very it's an abstract. So much
okay.
money, it's not, you can't really measure it in mega credits anymore. It's the money of governments and empires.
Okay. Yeah, that's
And
what
mega
I figured.
corporations.
I feel like we had been shorthanding it, that it was something like that.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
so.
yeah. Well, if you split up the resource unit, it's like if like that's what I was turning into. It's like as you were dividing it up, it's like you'll end up with. I think early on, it's like you would in total it's a resource unit, but if you split it up and give a huge chunk to him and all that stuff,
That's
whoever.
what I was trying to figure out. So if you asked me how much I have 1/3 of 1/3 plus 20% of the total amount.
Yeah, I'll figure that out after this.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. 1/3 of a resource unit is no longer a resource unit. Now I'd have to start transferring into mega credits in some variety. But it'd be a
That
lot
was
of
our
mega
deal,
credits.
Was a third of whatever
Yeah.
we got for it, plus our finder's fee of 20%.
Yeah. Well,
and then we each get a third of that third.
no, we get a. So the original deal was we get a third of a. Each of us gets a third of a third because we all get a third.
Right.
We get a third, and then I get 20% as a broker because he tried to screw us over.
Okay. So we're each getting a third of a resource credit, roughly.
Oh.
Where each of us is getting a ninth of.
And I correct myself. Darrian is the homeworld of the Confederation. It is not the capital of the Darrian Confederation. That's Meyer. Still, Darrian's a very important world. So there's a lot of important. There's someone important on Darrian who could still do this anyway. That's why my brain. I was looking up. I was like, wait, hold on. I feel like I'm screwing something up. I'm like, I am. But the Darrian's the place where you wanted your ship built. That's why we're here. That's why. Still though.
Well, I mean, we probably wanted it built on a Tech 33 world, but it wasn't available.
So Kiridi's getting 2/3 of a resource unit, right?
Yes, he's getting a stupid amount of money for what
Yep.
for who he is.
So, let's do it here. I have it here already. Oh, well, there you go. You know that. Also, I just realized, given how big the Darrian Confederation is, they probably don't have any noble titles above, like, Archduke, because they only control one sector.
Yeah, I figured they're
Not even
Archduke.
heck. Well, yeah, like
The head of the council is probably an archduke. Like there are a couple of dukes, and whoever is in charge at the moment is the archduke, I would imagine.
yeah. But yeah, no, you know that there is a social standing. There is a duke equivalent in the feudal tech. There's a duke of the of Darrian, of the Darrian frontier, which it sounds frontierish, but it's like the duke controls Spoom and Darrian, and he can sponsor you being uplifted to noble status. Anyone, because he's high enough rank that he could sponsor it and he could get away with it. Not get away with it. It's not a scheme per se. It's like no, he has the power to sponsor it, and that power would be enough to hold in Meyer. That the councils back on Meyer would go, yeah, we agree. If Duke so and so said, if the Duke of Darrian says so, it thinks he's deserving, then we'll give him a shot. Now the way that would work, would be, and this is where your proxy and all that stuff would help, because now you know who to talk to without having to go all the way back to where you're ennobled in the first place. There we go. It'd be similar to how you would get elevation as a noble, except you've already done the intrigue part of it. This whole getting an artifact, finding the right person, finding the buyer, getting the resource unit. That's what an intrigue is in career. That's all this. So you already, if all that gets done and you don't die, then you would roll 2d6 versus your choice of your C2, C3, C4, or C5 stat. And if you add in your bearer proxy into it, that'll give you +1 because that's you donating it to the relevant nobles who would elevate you. And you could invoke Flux as a mod on the elevation roll. Because you might start just saying, hey, talk to this guy. See, pull what favors you can to make it happen, if you can.
So I'm choosing a C2 to C5 characteristic, and I want to roll equal or under.
Yep. C2 to C5 with +1 because if you put in your proxy. If you don't, you're just rolling the stat.
Oh, then I don't want Flux because my C4 is A, +1 is B, which means I only fail on double sixes. If I invoked Flux, it wouldn't make me more likely to succeed. It would just screw me over if it went badly.
What's A, sorry?
My intelligence,
Oh.
C4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm really smart. I just haven't not a clue of book learning.
So that's the process we would do. But before we get to that, you need to sell the stupid thing. The money's gotten in, so you know who to talk to. You have your plans, and I presume you wait for the Jordani representative to come to where you guys are, to the TS lounge.
Yeah, I think I guess first we update the security on the plan, right? The bay is no longer interesting. Someone is coming to take an item off of us. We're going to sell it to them. We need you to run security, active security, like you be seen kind of security, while this happens. And then, yes, we meet the Jordani people. I think it would be more useful to have our dudes in armor actually out.
So you're gonna have your people out in the open guard, being escorting.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable precaution when we're dealing in something that is the equivalent of a resource unit.
And with that, we'll take a short break while I refresh my coffee, and we'll have this confrontation is a strong word, but this meeting for untold riches. So I'll be back in a bit. I have returned. Oh, that was that was something for them because it was. I'm just sitting here and I'm sitting here and they're like, "Where did this guy go?" I'm sitting here going like, "Well, but he got teleported away. Did I not hint at that enough? Oh well, they'll get it with insight eventually, right?" And it's like, okay, then they got it. No idea who they're gonna sell to. I'll be honest with you. For those of you watching after the fact, it's like I had no idea what they're gonna do. It's like, well, I mean, but hey, it could all go sideways, so we're gonna find out together, aren't we? Hopefully it won't. They seem to have themselves figured out.
Or to Iblith, because he's not. He's basically our.
He's not really skilled.
I'm back.
Yeah, but I mean, he's our badass Sonic guy.
Yeah,
He
which
brings stuff to the table.
that was what we would pay him on.
Right.
For, right. I mean, the share.
Survive this next 5 minutes first.
Yeah.
So you wait outside in the main, not in the lounge proper, but inside like that entry hall where the front desk AI is, because that's where you can get. That's the easiest place for people to get to the. That's where you deposit it in the first place. You have your 12 personal security that you hired, the 6 jacketed security, and 6 fully armored ones. TS Lounge has some of their security lurking about now because your security is here. So they're like, what's this about?
You're right. If once we see them around, I will walk up to one of them, inform them that a high price transaction is taking place. Our people are here for our safety. Not that you should stand down, just that you should be aware why they're here.
Hey, thank you for letting us know, says one of them. It's like, oh, good, because it's like, what's going on? I mean, we won't tell you what to do, but like, please don't break anything.
In fact, we would like it if you would stand around and ensure that the transaction is completed.
I think we need to go ahead and grab the case before the Jadani get here, just in case yet another curveball gets thrown at us, since we haven't actually laid eyes on it for a minute.
Yeah, let's order the case back.
The AI flickers into being and requests for you to put your biometrics down. Place your hand on this thing, enter in your UPP code.
Yep.
This is where we figure out we're clones.
Right.
So I'm gonna roll
DCEAAC.
flux. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, that's the funny thing about clones, because that's why UPP is required, because your biometric tells us genetically who you are. The UPP tells you what your current genetic profile is.
Yeah, because clones have different overall stats.
Yep.
I have almost a perfect genetic code, except for the really poor education. It brings me down.
Hey, your sanity could be terrible. You don't know what it is. You could be 2 for all you know. You just haven't had it tested yet.
My education?
Your sanity.
Oh, I thought it. Oh no, Herivores had been tested.
Yeah.
I know exactly how to get mine tested, right?
Yeah, there's ways to do it. There's ways to find out what your sanity score is. Most people just don't do it, because why would you ever need to?
Pull out the knife, motion for Tarbin to step next to the altar.
Eventually, there's a small delay, and then the top opens, and the case lifts out into plain view.
Let's just no. I don't want to have a peek. I'm afraid of what's in there.
Well, but I think we got it.
Okay, like, I'll open it really quickly, and you give a sniff.
Okay.
Just like, Jim, I'll just little tiny crack and close real quick.
Sure. Yes, you open the case a little bit.
Sniff.
quickly.
It jams. Something's
What jams?
the case. It doesn't close properly.
No.
You're
I'll take my thumb out of the hinge.
the engineer. Fix the lock, quick.
What's it jammed on?
Intelligence plus engineering of some kind, I believe. Something to do with fixing objects. Craftsman would be a good one.
I mean, how about an intelligence engineer?
I'll take that. 2 dice. It's just the case.
That's yeah. Sure.
Although you are hasty, so 3 dice. Because you're doing it in a hurry.
Okay, that is actually one of my life pursuit skills, though. So I get +1 to it. So that's 16 on 3.
You also have a toolkit, don't you?
Yeah. What does that do for me? Give me +1 or
It would give you
something?
I'd give you +1 for it, yeah.
Okay, so 17 on 3.
As the guards watch us furiously try to close this case, like our lives depend on it.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you in Calcian's haste, he accidentally flicked up something that's meant to. There's like 2 little armatures that on the inside that help hold the case up for you. If you're like trying to, you want it somewhat open but not fully open. He accidentally flicked one of them. So when you try to close it, part of it closed and the other part didn't. So you just have to kind of flick it back down and you can close it again.
Okay. I'll do so. Did I smell what I smelled before when we first encountered this thing?
Give me
Sniffy, sniffy.
intelligence, 3 dice.
Anything I can add to that, or
What do you suggest? I might say yes.
my smelling capability?
I was about to say, maybe you argue for like a lower dice number because you
There
have
are
such
actually
high.
rules for.
Well, it's basically like it's usually like intelligence 2 dice when you're perceiving something. It's 3 dice because you're doing it in a hurry.
Right.
Because it's open and closed immediately, so you're not really taking a good whiff. You're taking a tiny whiff and trying to perceive what's in there.
Right.
I think he's just trying to figure out how to gain the benefit of from having the super nose.
He can do it at all. If you sniffed, I'd go, you smell a box.
Oh, okay.
Like, normally it wouldn't be possible to perceive anything. It's like, yeah, I smell inside. You smell must? I don't know what you're asking me. You're a human.
For 10 on 3, then. I will argue for chef because the last time I smelled this, something about the smell made me think about that it was food and it might be revolutionized the way we store and prepare food.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm looking for 14 out of 3. Ah. Got it.
Or has it got you? Woo, no.
It's an ancient artifact, so totally possible.
The brief smell you get, it is the same thing you smelled before, but it smells different.
It's the different same smell.
Like something about it has changed over time.
Okay, that's okay. As long as it's the thing.
Don't. Kelsey is gonna look at Torvin. Don't think about it too long, right?
The change is a very minor tinge. It's just the slightest, a very minor change in its scent profile. But it is the same thing. Something's changed about it though. Time must affect it somehow. Whatever it is.
Our exposure, yep. Yep, this is it's in there. It's the same thing.
All right.
So yeah, now we just wait on the Jodani to show. The Zhou to show.
I do realize that although we all may have like personal loyalties or want to see different groups get more powerful, the 2 groups we've empowered the most as travelers are Susag and the Zodani Consulate.
Yeah, our track record isn't great.
Yeah.
However, our staying alive track record, pretty good. And we did solve a plague. So,
Yeah.
well, you didn't.
The two groups kind of face off each other as you see a unit of Jordani in full regalia approach.
Do they look like special forces?
Education plus 2 dice. Anything to do with Jordani knowledge.
You know, my education is really great. It's my intelligence that's terrible. You should pick on me on my intelligence. Education what?
Plus 2 dice. If there's a skill that helps you with understanding Jordani culture or rank or military structures.
What about language, the shtetl?
That would be a roll for you, not for me.
Yeah. You could. The language wouldn't be enough to assist you.
Okay.
In that regard. Actually, no.
Well,
The language would tell you that there's something written on their clothing that you would read. It says 66 core.
Told you they were already here.
And then there's like a circle for a symbol that means something. It's probably a ranking insignia or a regimental badge, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Do they look like
Told
they
you
have?
were here.
Do they have a leader?
Uh,
Are they escorting someone?
First thing you're seeing, I'm just seeing what your reaction is to them. Like your security forces and these guys are facing off with each other. They don't pull anything. They just, the minute that they walk in, these 6 people walk in, your security kind of moves up to kind of go, whoa, that's far enough. And they kind of meet them within about arm's reach. No one's drawn weapons. These guys look to be in long flowing robes, tall hats, matching uniforms. They are definitely Jordani.
I'll say these people are here to escort the purchasers. Observe them, but do not interfere.
And I'll say in shtetl to the highest ranking Jordani, I'm assuming as a naval guy, would kind of know something about Jordani ranks. That, this is the security is here merely to make sure that the transfer of the goods takes place without any outside interference. Please do not take offense, and please do not be watchful, but please do not engage in any hostilities. Yeah.
Well, the one who looks to be, you're guessing some sort of high-ranking NCO.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell. You're not familiar with special forces terribly, but it looks the most important of them. The one with the tallest hat kind of helps you with it a bit. That's largely what you're going off of, because the Jordani know each other's ranks by psionic touch. That's why assassinating Jordani officers is kind of annoying. But he looks at you confused, or they look at you a little puzzled, and then they stare at you for a bit.
I'm totally wearing the helmet.
Yeah.
And the helmet's thing is 18.
You are a cautious Ursine, he says back to you in shtetl, and well educated. It is understood. We are ensuring that all is in good time and morality, much as you are.
As is only right and proper.
One person steps in after the tense stare down, because between the traveler security, they've run into Jordani before. It's just it's a polite sort of holding up a hand of, okay, that's far enough. It's okay. The Jordani security guys are kind of, they're looking tough and staring them down, but the traveler security people like, no, we this isn't our first time we've run into you. Hi. Yeah. Please don't. They're like hotel staff. Just don't go this way, please. Just don't start trouble, okay? Except, sorry, hotel staff with guns and armor, Whereas your guys are fully suited up and they're trying to look tough, trying to stand off. You can see there's an obvious, like I'll mark our friends in the TAS with yellow dots. The TS people look at these special forces guys, and it's just a hi, how are you? It's a very friendly security arrangement. Whereas the Jordani are trying to look tough to them.
Right.
In the reverse, your guys are trying to look tough to the Jordani. This one, the ones in the jackets try to look tough. These guys don't look. They look unconcerned with them.
Right.
It's more of I'm standing here so you can't move further. And beyond that, like one of the people in here looked at you and just did not pay attention to these people at all. Just they're a non-issue to them.
That's fair.
These guys kind of have the most intense stare down, largely because these guys probably have full-on psi helmets and battle dress and everything, and these guys are Jordani. And it's like, yes, they don't have battle dress, but fighting someone in battle dress is annoying. Especially when there's 6 of them. So these guys are paying a lot more attention to this group. During this intense standoff, one person in the back, in a more combination of in less traditional Jordani long robes and high turban, this person has long flowing robes, but it seems to be a combination. It seems to be a medley of Jordani long flowing silk robes and various Jordani emblems and badges to indicate their rank. Much like your baronet friend, except he has far more symbols of his office. One of them is the regimental badge, but it isn't in the prominent position. It's on the uniform somewhere. The Jordani sword world styling, so somewhat Nordic looking, and then some imperial stylings. And
I lean over to Tarbin and I say, let's do this in Anglic and not mention the war.
there are a few Darrian in the room who are watching this exchange. And there's the TAS staff are kind of like, no, this isn't your concern. Stay back. What's going on? Don't worry about it. It's not your concern. Well, it sounds like a problem. No, it isn't. Please step back.
Arctos will formally greet the newcomer in Zedetl and say, however, my companion is not versed in Zedetl, and so if you are comfortable, please let us complete these proceedings in Anglic. And I'm being very polite. And
he adjusts the glasses at the end of his nose a bit. You can see a flicker of some data display scrolling across them. He nods. Anglic, then?
Anglic.
Thank you.
With whom do I have the pleasure of meeting?
You have the pleasure of dealing with Sir Calcian Langhoff of the Darrian Confederacy and Mr. Tarbin Arctos, retired scout of the Langhoff, Arctos, and Trisani Voidgazer Imperial Shipping Company.
I think we're just shipping company. I don't think we're Imperial.
No, you're Imperial, because that's who you're registered with.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I have to craft this guy's name properly, because the Jordani have very particular naming conventions.
Yeah, remember the part after the dash is the rank? Am I right, or is it the other way around?
It's the one after the rank, yeah. The suffix is their rank.
And I imagine this guy's a knight.
I greet you as Eatil Zenitlis. I am as the Imperium would call them, I am a Marquis of the Consulate. Responsible for the sort of high purchase that we are performing. Forgive my security, I am required in my position, and given the details of this, to ensure that no one forgets their place.
Very good. If you would like to come examine and take possession of the device, we would ask that I'm sure you are aware of the nature or presumed nature of this object, that any prolonged contact, we have no idea of the effects it will have on you. So we ask, we will show you the case, you release the funds, you can examine it, and then leave. Is there any objections to that order of ceremonies?
I would prefer one of my security, well, prefer is the dishonest way to put it. I am somewhat required to request one of my security detail to ensure the box is not unsafe to be in my presence, at which point, if it is verified, one of you may have the honor of presenting it to me within my... He struggles. Within arm's reach. He waves a hand like he's not sure how to say that differently in Anglic.
That seems sensible to me. Tarvin will hold up the case and kind of look at the security guys.
Um,
And then put it down on the counter kind of beside me.
One of them breaks away and looks over stares at the box, and then takes a deep breath in, closes his eyes.
Don't breathe too deeply while the box is open. It emits an odor. I do not know if it may have any effects, but still.
He glances over his shoulder. Zenithles just kind of nods.
I think he psychically examined it. I was really afraid it was going to melt his mind and things were going to go bad.
Whom is presenting this to me? Says Zenithles.
I will. I mean, as I assume chairperson of the company, I will present it to you.
Sure.
He gestures in front of him. Calcian, you feel your helmet blips at you to let you know that that there is a high energy there's a high amount of psionic energy around you at the moment. Nothing is attacking you, but it is alerting you that there's a lot of psionic attention on you right now.
Yeah, my assumption here is that because of how out in the open this is, they wouldn't dare, because that would mean war. Like, they're not going to murder a Darrian noble over Darrian.
Yeah,
no,
and
but
not spark
they're
a
on
war.
Guard. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, because if I was like playing, if I was still playing Hervor, then I'd be super worried, because I'm just a traveler and a nobody on this planet. They might murder me and get away with it. Calcian, I think, has the confidence that they could murder me, but they couldn't get away with it because of position. So I will take the risk.
You are a knight of the Confederation?
Yes, but I do not act on a part of the Confederation here. This is I act merely on behalf of Latvici Imperial shipping.
So noted. In that event, I will make this a personal request of you, though I cannot compel you to. I wish to peer into the man I am dealing with. To do that, I would require you to remove your helmet. If you do not wish me to, I will not look. I would just simply feel more comfortable.
Unfortunately, in interstellar matters, cultures often clash, and comfort is difficult to come by. Perhaps in an enlightened future, when the Darrian Confederation and the Jildani Consulate have been at peace for a millennia, we will overcome these cultural differences and accommodation will be easy. But accommodation is not easy under these circumstances, unfortunately, so I will have to decline. I'm trying to decline as politely as possible.
Yeah, he looks unoffended at all. He just kind of shrugs at that, and he goes, that's all right. In time, the Darrian will, as the Imperium is embracing the ancient ways, in time, the Darrian may see the same, but today is not that day, and I shall not demand its hastening any more that can hasten the sun to rise. If you would open the case so I can peer upon it myself.
Oh, I really don't want to do that.
Tarbin says, we will be happy to comply. Again, as I said, it does emit an odor. We have not exposed ourselves to it for any extended period of time, and so I cannot vouchsafe your security. If you...
It is. I don't know what it is. I cannot vouch for its safety. I will let you take the risk. I do not wish to take the risk after having taken it several times already, so I will put it on a table in the lounge, step away, and say, you may examine it if you wish to open the case. I just do not wish to be holding it as you do so.
Sir Knight, I request you to respect my position. Okay. As you would any Marquis of the Confederation. I am requesting you, Sir Knight, to open the case. I will not take it as a personal attack from you upon me. But I will not touch a thing that I have not agreed is in my possession, for in our culture, that could be perceived as theft. And I am trying to pay you a proper courtesy. If you wish me to think of you as a plebeian, I will do so, but I am refraining from that.
Tarbin says to Calcian, I'll hold the case if you would rather.
I will...
You can sense a little agitation on his face right now. It's just the faintest hint. He's trying really hard to contain his emotions. Although, whether it's agitation he's containing or something else, it's unclear. Jordani of this rank can be very hard to read.
I'll open it because Calcian does recognize, even though I don't want to, if anyone here gets an itchy finger because they get worried, they start thinking, is something going wrong? A lot of people are going to die. I will probably be one of those people. Our side may win, our side may lose, but I won't be around to see it, will I?
And thus the 6th Frontier War started at a TAS lounge.
Yeah. Hey, but at least for the first few months of the war, the Darrians will have a rallying cry of "Remember Sir Calcian."
Just like Archie Ferdinand. Anyway,
I was about to say, from going from the 5th Frontier War, making up war songs for the Sword Worlds, I'll go to being a war song for the Darrians in the 6th War. I will open the case, fully expecting that this is probably the time that it kills me. I will not inhale. I will hold my breath and try to not interact with the case and hold it open for like maybe 15 seconds.
As you begin to close it, he then reaches out and stops you. It's not like a super hard shove. He just kind of sticks his hand in the way to indicate he doesn't want it closed.
I'm not opening my mouth to talk with him, so he can have it another 30 seconds.
He then
Carbon.
another 5 seconds goes by as he stares at it a little bit longer, and then you feel him pulling it down with you to close it. But he's being very gentle about it.
I close it and take a deep breath.
You notice during the entire moment, when you hold your breath, usually you kind of take a big inhale, then hold, and there's a sort of holding pattern on your chest, like this filled lungs feeling. He just stopped breathing. Like, there's no inhale, no nothing. He just stopped breathing. And you notice that around you, now that you have that moment, you can hear everyone around you breathing. Like, they all stopped breathing at the same time. And then they all started breathing when he did.
Neat.
I need a better helmet.
This is sufficient for the price agreed upon. With your leave... Oh, right. You can't tell what I'm thinking. Feel free to consult your agents to verify that the funds have been released to you.
I turn around and say, I'll confirm with my COO.
Okay.
Mr. Tarbin, would you confirm the status of our accounts?
I'll look on our pad.
So when you look up your pad and you look at your bank files for the company, because I imagine you had it sent to the company account, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have at least 2 different certifications of the relevant, because normally when you do credits, it's enough to look it up and see the number has changed, and it's from a certain bank. Once you start talking mega credits, the bank has like the bank manager's signature and UPP code to verify, yes, this is indeed a valid mega credit transaction, to let you know you're not being robbed or that's false or anything like that. That isn't a trick. This is a resource unit. There's the bank manager's signature. There is a Knight of the Realm, other than Langhoff, who is trusted with banking on this planet. The Duke of the Realm has also been asked to sign off on this, to verify this is indeed a resource unit that has moved in our presence, and it is not... We have verified that it has gone into your account. So
Everything appears to be in order.
Resource units moving around is a big deal.
So we have okay.
So yeah, you see that, Tarbin. You see it. You have a full resource. That is more money you've never seen. The number is... It's just hard to grasp. It is stupid big. It is not...
As calmly as possible. As calmly as possible, Tarbin says, everything appears to be in order.
I'll say, on behalf of LatVG Imperial Shipping, I thank you for shopping with us today. If you have any additional contracts or are looking for any additional items, please reach out to our contracts office. And give him the case, right?
I believe, Sir Langhoff, that there is something that you already are aware of that would be of benefit to the consulate. However, once your ship is in order, I'll ensure that the relevant member of consulate is present to offer you an appropriate task for the vessel from which you command. And one of the guys he doesn't reach for the box. Someone just kind of walks away from the security and Another guy comes over. They take hold of the case, and they stand. And then the whole detail starts surrounding the case.
And then they're gonna like blink out of here.
Nope. They just kind of stand there. And you notice they're not protecting him anymore. So you know all your sensor on your helmet kind of fades off. Like all the attention isn't on you anymore.
Tarvin will wrap things up with the formal, whatever appropriate phraseology to a Marquis, and to end the negotiation with the devil.
You notice there's some agitation in the crowd as they're watching this exchange. But it looks like a combination of TAS security and some travelers who are already here are pulling. There's some people who are getting rowdy as they see this this exchange. But they get pulled away. Other people, an incident almost did happen, but people around you kind of solved it before it turned into anything.
And then Tarvin will turn to Calcian before the Marquis is out of earshot.
Oh, he hasn't left yet.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
He actually moves forward a bit. He looks right at Tarvin.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he speaks to you in Zodani, in the Zodani language. You served in the Imperial Navy during the war?
I did, and proudly.
As did I, proudly. I am glad that we have this opportunity to close this gap of misunderstanding between your empire and the consulate. And I hope that the Imperium and its citizens will further the path of morality for not just the Zodani, not just the Imperium, and not just for humanity, but for all Sophantic minds.
Tarvin will take off his helmet and say, all Sophants of wisdom wish for nothing more than a more peaceful and agreeable galaxy in which to live and bear our young. And I bow to him.
He nods his head. Word only true today. Good day, Tarvin Arctos. And he switches to Anglic. Good day, Sir Calcian Langhoff.
Good day.
And they march away.
Before he gets out of earshot, I will say, just loud enough for him to hear, I'm talking to Calcian, but loud enough for the departing Marquis to hear. Well, I think it's about time we reported our poor friends missing, but perhaps tomorrow?
I pick up on what Tarvin is saying and I say, yes, hopefully we can find them tomorrow, and it had nothing to do with that unfortunate R2 business.
Well, and who knows, they may very well show up at any moment.
And with that, they stride out of the room.
Now pay off these guys and let's go have the good champagne.
Yeah, I've already paid out these guys in their contract.
Yeah.
So the company they work for is just like a security company, right? It's not like a mega corp.
Yeah, they're just a security firm.
All right. I tell them the terms of your contract are fulfilled. We no longer need your services, but we will honor the contract at its full price regardless.
Oh, they're happy with that. And they will leave you and head off to well, their office, presumably, or to wherever it is they're going to go.
Yeah. I do want to see about my title, but now I agree with Tarbin on let us find the whatever the Vogue restaurant is at the moment that's like 10-year waiting list and buy a spot on the list. Like if the entrees don't have like gold leaf or iridium leaf, then it's probably not good enough for us at the moment.
So you seek out a nice place to eat. Exceptionally nice place to eat.
I was about to say, nice does not begin to describe what I'm looking for.
Don't worry, you'll be able to afford it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the midst of your dinner, one of the Darrian servers kind of comes up to you and holds out a special iridium engraved pad that is offered by the restaurant for their customers to pre-use messages or access the restaurant computer.
I motion that yes, he can operate the pad to show me the message.
He flips it around and without just tap, and then presents it to you very reverently almost. And he even like stands in such a way, like not awkwardly so, but almost gracefully, just kind of moves in such a way that you can see it, Tarvin can see it, but any other table wouldn't be able to get a clear look at it.
What's the message?
A very irate message from Professor Calvier, who seems very confused about his situation, but he's on his way up and he wants an explanation. And apparently he's in the company of Kirdi Igim.
Oh, the
guy,
that dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. As they seem to be on the surface somewhere.
I'll send a message back that they can take advantage of the LatVG's CAV reimbursement program. Unfortunately, the CEO is out of office at the moment, and will respond once he returns to office. Note also the CEO, the COO is also out of office and will be unable to respond at the moment.
Something about what the hell does that mean? Yada yada, because you know Calvier.
Right.
But yes, eventually you are able to verify that they are indeed safe and sound and heading back to you in time. You know at this point that you have the shipbuilding will take at most a week. They might narrow it down faster than that because now they have the sponsorship and payment of the Jordanic consulate helping speed up the ship.
Wow,
So,
like a week? Are you kidding me? That's insane.
the strength of a large amount of money and various skilled engineers working
guess
on it.
so.
I was about to say, you wouldn't want to think of it like us building a ship, like someone ordering a mega yacht today and having all the permits and getting it built. You'd want to think about it today, but it can be built in a completely automated dock that can work 24 hours a day, and it has more access to the entire engineering knowledge of the Darrians.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's like, wait, what? It's like, why didn't you use all those fancy toys before? Because those things cost so much an hour.
Right.
Yeah. Normally, only the Navy can afford to use these dry docks.
It's like, well, who's helping sponsor to ensure that this is proper payment and not an illicit pirate ship or something like that? The Jordanic consulate goes, oh, we're signing off on it. We'll pay the relevant fees for expedition. It's like, oh, Can you afford it? We can afford it. It's fine. We have hundreds of resource units. We can totally afford a single adventure class starship.
Yeah.
Not even paying for the stupid thing. They're just paying for the expedition fee. It's like, dude, the Marquis himself probably has authorization to a single resource unit for his activities on behalf of the consulate.
Like, we could consider that, not from our perspective, but from the perspective of the consulate, this was a 2 resource unit purchase.
Oh no, your expedition fee doesn't even touch his resource unit. It's like, how much of this did you, like, your dinner is taking no dent into your resource unit. Because you're talking trillions of dollars, like stupid amounts of money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for paying for like the shipyard and to pay us our resource unit, it costed them more than a single resource unit to get this case.
A resource unit plus a couple 100,000 or so, probably. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even a mega credit. Like, they may have spent a mega credit or 2 on this to expedite it. But still, they spent a ton. This is an obscene amount of money for a single purchase. Hence, why a Marquis was involved, why Special Forces were involved.
Fair.
You don't get anything for completing a life goal, do you? Because I don't think you do. It's just something you're working towards. But I think I've completed a life goal. Because I had a life goal to trade in resource units. So.
No, you need to trade in more. You got your taste of the first one. Now you need to keep trading in it.
Now I need to get wealthy enough to trade in pocket empires.
Yeah. So in time the ship will be built. In time you will be able to take to the stars in your new starship with some amiability of the consulate, or at least a faction of it anyway. Someone's gotten an artifact in their possession they weren't expecting to get. And Stellar Arms is going to be thoroughly annoyed. I will tell you that in the short, a somewhat flash forward of, and Stellar Arms never gets that thing. I will tell you now, they're never getting it. Because the consulate's like, oh, it's ours now. Here you go. What? Oh, if you want to try to take it back, it's in the consulate. It's like, no. Don't worry, we're not robbing you. We're paying you for it. But we hired your guys to do it, and we're buying it from you. You're welcome.
Oh, so they also they're going to pay off Instella Arms?
Oh, they're not paying him a resource unit. It's like, we already have it. Here, have a few mega credits. Like chump change on the deal. But they're getting paid something, so they can't be sued.
I imagine Instella Arms upper management wants the head of that dude we met in the desert.
Yeah. You absolute idiot. Did you just give away a resource unit? Well, they said it was a representative.
Also, he probably didn't know what it was.
That sounds like a you problem. Trooper. Wait, what? Am I getting demoted? You damn right you are. You moron. But yeah. Decknalls is a happy person for sure, because he made his commission on that, and don't worry, that doesn't affect your resource unit at all.
He's a good source for patronage once we get the ship, so.
And you know that once the ship is built, you will get a patron offer from the Jordanic consulate, because that's what he was telling you earlier. He's going to send someone to offer you a job. Although he knows you have an existing job with them through the Baronet, it's like, yeah, but I'll send someone along. You have a ship. I might as well get you doing 2 jobs. Why not? You just got hold of a drone, an ancient artifact.
Well, didn't we agree to?
Oh yeah, you gave a right of first offer to
La Darrian.
Yeah,
Darrian.
So you have at least 2 jobs coming up, the 2 patron jobs. If not,
the way that was negotiated, it was not we will work for you first, guaranteed. It's you get the first chance at offering us a contract.
Yep. So you have 2 potential patronage, which you could do both theoretically. We have 2 patron jobs coming down the pipeline, and possibly, as you say, you could ask Decknalls to patron you, or at least find you a patron.
Right.
So yeah, this is.
We also could go a while without any patron. We have enough money. We could hop around a little and shop around.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
Oh yeah. So yeah. Are you gonna figure out what a third of a resource unit is?
It is going to be.
It's gonna be more than a third though, because it's 20% of one resource unit plus a third of one resource unit.
Okay.
So it would amount to. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. I could do it this way, though. I have tables for a reason, to help me with these quandaries I have in my head. No. Okay. Jeez. Okay. A grand total of 36 mega credits.
All right. So, which means I presume that our little friend that we met made 90. No, made. You said 36?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our little thief friend made 70 something mega credits. Because he got
72.
2/3. Yeah, he got 2/3
Yeah.
of that. So that's the 1/3 plus the 20%. That's everything.
Yep.
All right.
And I'll add, because I have to qualify the ephemeralness of the insane money that you were given. If you are ever anytime you have a billing day, want to buy basic stuff like nothing. I mean like hotels, cab rides, travel, like incidentals rather than like armor or a gun or a special thing or a starship. Anything of that incidental nature, if you're in the Jordani consulate, you'd pay nothing because it's presumed that you have so much money and credit that you couldn't possibly walk around with it. But now in the Jordani consulate, all your incidentals are just paid for now in the Jordani consulate.
I really don't want to go there to take advantage of that.
Yep. And that is that remains until that will remain so for people who got paid out until such time that you either sell it off to somebody else or you start dealing in resource units again. If you're like buying something with the resource unit, then it's like, well, okay, that would be part of that, or could be, I should say.
Tarbin, I think because I really don't want to do all the math. Let's say 6 mega credits are the liquid assets of the company, and you, me, and Calvir will take 10 mega credits each as our personal share.
Sure.
All right, so
Yeah, a third of that's 12, so we put 6 back in. Yeah, that makes sense.
there's also the 20% that kind of should belong to the company.
Oh, okay. Wow, yeah, that is a whole. That's what 36 times 0.20. 7.2.
So how would I go about turning these mega credits into titles?
So,
if I wanted to.
if you wanted to. So you would spend a single mega credit for the attempt. This is you campaigning and filling out all the forms and paying for the relevant things and setting aside money so when you do, if you do get more land, then you can afford to maintain it, that sort of thing. If you fail, it's spent, but you can try again as long as you have the money to try again. Because you did such a massive intrigue of trading in a resource unit. Because normally, if you were at character creation, you'd be doing this over the course of 4 years. So at a player scale, I'm just kind of letting you hammer at it just because you're obscenely wealthy compared to the average knight of the realm. But you are looking at...
Sorry, before I get this wrong, because I put this in chat, it wasn't Calvir that made the deal with us with this guy on the case. That was the Baron. The Baron's the person that gets the other 10 mega credits, right? Tarbin, who was with us when we played.
All right, let me look.
No, it was Calvir because he knew the guy from that Hell World.
Yeah.
Okay, so Calvir is the one that gets the other 10 mega credits. Okay. And I put down what the company owes everybody, so we can just the company's liabilities are right now. Okay, sorry for interrupting, Jim. I was gonna lose that if I didn't ask.
Yeah, no, it's fair. So this will move you from a knight to a baronet. You C2 through C5, 2 dice, and it costs 1 mega credit for the attempt. And we'll say you have up to 7 attempts, because that's when, at the end of the week, that's when the ship will be built, and then you have a different problem on your hands. You have other things to be thinking about than campaigning.
What was the dice number?
2.
2 dice under C4 plus, what was the skill added?
There is.
Or was it was just characteristic.
Yeah, it's like career. It's like your character creation. It's based off of your inherent abilities.
Then I'm a baronet.
You are baronet of the realm, and that gives you. You now have a second main world that you have some responsibility to, which will be.
They're not gonna make me a baron on Zameen. They're gonna make me a baron somewhere else.
Well, you're a baronet of Zameen, so your holdings in Zameen are expanding, but you're also being.
Okay.
You'd have 2 main worlds, so Zameen and Tarant 340.
So I have land on Tarant.
Part of your expanded land's gonna be, some of your expanded land's gonna be on Zameen, some of it's gonna be on Tarant 340.
Okay.
So just note that down once we get to the land part of it, so you know where your holdings are.
What's the? It's not Spinward Marches 0421. It's Spinward Marches
0622.
And I think it's just 1 land grant additional.
We're about to determine that. I think it's a single. Oh, yeah, it says right there. Yeah. So you have one addition. You have one additional land grant on. Okay. You have one on Zameen, and then you now have one on Tarant. 340.
So, would it be possible for Tarbin to apply to the Empire for a title, since he has, as a scout, 3 land grants already? His social status is now 12, and he's got mega credits.
He could. Yep. Similar. You would need. Well, first you have to figure out who you need to talk to on at the
embassy.
At the embassy. So that would be. What did I make? Friggin' you roll there, Calcian. I made you do.
It was C2 through C5. Choose one.
No. Sorry. To find out who it was. I think I made it an education roll to figure out who the Duke was.
Yeah, I made education plus. I forgot. I used some skill, but I forgot what it was.
Education plus a relevant skill, I think it was. So education, normally be 3 dice, but you have tons of time, so it's 2. 2 dice, education, so half your training, plus a skill you think would help you figure out who it is you would need to talk to that's at the embassy that could help you with this.
Could I maybe roll insight?
You could roll insight, yeah, you might just happen to know who it is.
Yeah, well, my insight is now 6, so 1 die.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes. Yeah, that's who I need to talk to.
You recall, there's a couple of you can talk to. Wait, actually, I was going to say a name, and then I realized, what's the letter that you have right now for social standing?
C.
Yeah, okay. So Sir Wendell can't help you because you would outrank him at that point. He can't help you with that. But there is a relevant person here who can help you with it, who can... There's the ambassador extraordinary of the Third Imperium can be after learning that there's a very wealthy imperial citizen with land grants and good standing with the Imperial Navy and the Imperial Scout Service, and to wit the peaceable relations with the Jordanian consulate, is willing to sponsor your attempt at elevation into the noble ranks of the Imperium.
Groovy.
So C2 through C5, you choose which one. 2d6. It costs 1 mega credit to make the petition. Yours will take longer to hear back from.
Yeah,
you won't get the rank right away. It'll take time for them to get back to you. But the ambassador can say, we can flash back after like so much time, like by a month, you'll know.
So I'm assuming for C2 to C3, my Ursa have to roll 3 dice anyway. Still applies.
Yeah, if it's something that's C3, C3.
Okay.
Sorry, something that has 3 dice.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see.
And does this give him a title at C, or does this raise him to lowercase d?
It would raise him to a lowercase c to baronet.
I would be inducted into the nobility as a baronet.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, if this is just induction or if this was induction and a rank.
Yeah, I think this is just induction. So.
Well, normally, if you were being just purely inducted, you would be a gentleman of the realm or a knight of the realm. But you're jumping a few steps to baronet because of your high social standing.
Right. Yeah, I think I'll do C4 intelligence and just roll 2. I think that's a. Got it. It's 10.
Actually, let's see how long it would take for it. We'll say a month. That's just easier. So you will be inducted. It is currently 30 days from 216. So plus 30 on 246 1111 you will be recognized. You will have it recognized as a baronet of the Imperium.
Cool.
The land you'd be granted, the land grants, which you have 2 on one world. You have 2 land grants basically that you'll get as a baronet.
Oh, nice.
And those will be somewhere in, I'll have to figure out where it is, but it's going to be, just give you an idea, it's going to be somewhere in the Linian subsector, because that's closest to where your achievements were. So it's better to, because they figure you're going to be operating in this area anyway.
Okay.
So somewhere in the Linian subsector. I'll have to figure out where that is, because I don't know where you'd be starting. I'll have to figure it out.
No, that's fine.
Most importantly, that means both you and me in different governments now have votes.
Yep.
So
So we're riding around the galaxy with baronets from the Jodani, Third Imperium, and Darrian polities.
it's a brand new day, as they say.
That's right.
Give us a month, we'll all be dukes and archdukes.
Don't worry, I'll have you assassinated before then. Hopefully. What am I forgetting? Yep, that's that. So, you have your ennobled, or soon to be ennobled.
Right.
Your ship is going to be built soon. It will be built, let's make our life easier and say it will be built on +7. So on 223, your ship's going to be built. For certain.
Well, Tarbin's player is going to be absent the next 2 Saturdays, which seems like an excellent time for Tarbin to go and find one of those really good wafer jack specialists and have his wafer jack installed and recover from that surgery.
I'll have the surgery and then just as the ship's bopping around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a Comfort 5 suite on the ship. Right. I think that'll be fine to recover in.
Right. I'm just saying that'll be
Yeah.
if that's what Tarbin will be doing next week.
That's fair.
In fact,
That's fair.
you could probably have it fitted on the ship because we're about to hire the best surgeon we can find to come bop around the stars with us.
So,
That we have a lot of people to hire.
and now we can afford really good wafers.
Well, not for very long. You can't.
Right.
You've already tested your sanity enough.
Well,
You might
it
want to
all has
buy.
to do with like the
Yeah.
quality of the wafers you buy, but yeah, I mean,
You
'cause
can.
I just it's
I think
it would be
the-
you probably want to buy some like emergency wafers with some really high necessary starship skills, just in case.
I mean, yeah, to each his own. It's kind of a big step to take because you're like drilling into your brain. But I think you can afford the kind here that mean you only have to test once at the end of the week.
You can definitely do that between sessions for sure, because you'll have time to shop around and buy. That will not be an issue.
Yeah, shopping lists incoming, Jan.
Yeah. So to highlight what's on the board at the moment, you are in the Sword World Confederacy is doing incredibly well, due to your in the region because of the you prevented the plague. The Susag Mega Corporation is doing incredibly well because you gave them an advantage over the Border World's Confederacy, and they now have a very strong position to argue from. The Border Worlds are teetering on falling on waning in power due to Susag's rise, and things are not going well for them. The Darrian have an issue that they need dealt with, but you'll probably hear more about that in your next patronage. The Imperium is dealing with the Wendell Commission issue. And the Jordani, that's colored in, if they have a certain thing they want you to do that will improve their position in the region, in the entire sector. And by sector, I mean like the entirety of the Spinward marches. If not the area you're familiar with. You did something that improved their position that wasn't necessarily something that the story was going to demand. Like that wasn't a story mission. You did something that really helped them out. So, if a bad thing happens to the border worlds again, then they're going to wane. If something of equivalent good happens to the Jordanic consulate, even if you don't do their special thing, they will be on the rise.
So, if the Empire is middling along, the Sword Worlds are building strength, the Border Worlds are weakened, and the Sudani consulate are on the verge of being reinvigorated, we're not gonna like spark the sixth border war as the Sword Worlds try to take the Border Worlds, are we?
Well, I mean, I think the Empire is actually doing very well. The thing in the Lunian section is just the.
Well, I'm not saying they're doing bad. They're just their situation has not improved to the degree the Sword Worlds or the Zildani has.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but they came back from the war a lot better and a lot quicker than most other combatants, I think.
I'm just worried we need to try to keep a balance.
To answer that, I would have to ask of you an education roll. Actually, you know what? I'll say intelligence because it's not. This isn't. You're trying to figure out something in front of you.
Oh, curiosity.
Curiosity. You could ask me that with curiosity. Yep.
Failure.
Oh, never mind about curiosity.
Oh, but I can use luck on my curiosity roll, right?
You could. Yep.
Success.
You are not privy to the moots, the Imperial moot, nor the Imperial Navy meetings. Hell, the only Imperial noble. There's two Imperial nobles that you know. One is going to become one inside of a month, and the other one as a baronet who hasn't been in a moot and isn't assigned to any committee of the moot. So he's out of the loop. Sir Wendell von Alfer of the Wendell Commission might know something, but you haven't really talked at length with him about it. But luck would have it that you feel that whether or not the area around this region, this Darrian, Sword World, Lunian region of the Spinward Marches. The balance here will determine how those three regions will develop. Whether or not that leads to a sixth frontier war is uncertain, but you do know that these events are directly impacting these three subsectors, which that ripple will likely affect the entirety of the Spinward Marches. Whether or not it turns into a Empire versus Empire issue is uncertain. But you are influencing intersector events. That's a way to put it. You are having regional effects.
Cool. Now, if we can just prevent the assassination of the Emperor, and if we're good.
Well, I don't know if I'm on board for that.
Yeah, you are. Trust me. Things get really bad after that for everybody.
Any other things you wish to resolve before we close up the episode? Because we're kind of in the epilogue moment of this particular problem. Before we move on to setting course and to other stars. Because I don't know if you're doing anything else on Darrian. That's my thing. I don't think you're doing anything else here. Beyond the patronage meetings.
We need to hire a crew. We actually need to find the people we're going to be traveling with before we start traveling.
Okay, so that's that'll be what we'll likely work on. Is there anything you think you can resolve? No, you'll probably need to shop around and ask around and stuff like that.
For what?
For your crew, unless you had something in mind.
Right.
Well, I don't have anyone in mind to already fill the spots, but I do know exactly what we need. If you look at the spreadsheet, there's 5 positions. The ship is built for an additional 5 people, and those are the people it's built for. And obviously we want to hire the best that money can buy.
Oh, okay. So hiring up masters. And stuff. Yeah, no, that's. Whoops, wrong tab. Hello. Catch up with me.
And it's kind of up to Tarbin if he wants. We might have to drop the doctor counselor for our master thief because the ship's already ordered. It doesn't have enough beds to bring the master thief along unless we boot somebody. And I think the doctor is, because we have Calvier, the doctor is the person we can afford to boot the most. So if you want, we'll do that.
Well, at this point, who knows if the Master Thief, quote unquote, we're talking about the Kirti, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy with 72 mega credits. Does he want to come travel with us?
Yeah, I mean.
He's fine where he is.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, do you want to come earn like maybe 30 to 100,000 credits a year, right, working for us, or do you just want to sit on Darrian and enjoy literally the life of peak luxury that can be enjoyed in this universe?
One of the most advanced planets in the known galaxy.
Yeah. Oh, we do have a line on a programmer. If Tarbin wants to deal with the Vargar lady again, he might be able to get our coder from there.
Okay, so I think those are things we can do in between.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I have like prepare the ship and buy stuff. I don't think, because I already kind of achieved the thing I wanted to do the most, which was get higher status. I can't think of anything.
You don't have to. I was just asking because I was like, I'll check in before I close it up, because the main thing I was throwing at you, you've done, and you didn't die.
Yep.
I guess if
Oh, one thing I will say, neither Calvier nor Curdy will know where they were held. That I can tell you right now.
Oh, okay.
They will not know where. They just know they appeared somewhere. They'll know that they appeared somewhere in town, and they're very confused.
I kind of don't want to know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I do think of something. As a baronet, I would like to go to whatever office it is that manages the is it Spinward expansion? Or is it Rimward?
Spinwards that way.
Yeah. I wanna get a contact within the office for Spinward expansion and line them up as a patron, because that's something we wanted to do too.
Yep.
Because in about a week we're gonna have a ship that can jump the gap without going down that whole long snake path into the Empire.
Are you making the meeting, or are you trying to get Decknulls to get you to the meeting?
Oh, Decknulls, that was one of the big reasons why we engaged with him in the first place.
Right, because he was pushing for non-megacorp patronage to explore Spinward.
Yeah, we're a minor corp, not a megacorp, so it's okay.
Right. Well, we're looking for patronage. He was saying that, Susag's getting all powerful enough that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
We're a company that technically, for a very short time, did or does business in resource units, but that doesn't technically make us a megacorp.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have more than one resource unit in your possession.
That's the new goal. Technically qualify as a megacorp.
To have more than one resource unit.
Because the minute you have around 2 or more resource units, you start talking. You're now in pocket empire territory, or megacorp territory, because now you're dealing in stupid amounts of money.
That's what we need to do. We need to make a mega credit and go Spinward so we can set up a pocket empire. Except it won't be a pocket empire; it'll be a pocket corp.
So we have, what deals do we have? We have, I'm trying to find my letters. We have a Jordani patron you're going to be meeting at some point. You have La Darrian, who will want to meet with you at some point. You have, he gets first. Offer. You have the Darrian you're going to want to talk to. If I could expand it, that'd be great. There we go. Was there any other patron I'm missing here? That you wanted to talk to? There we go.
I don't know that there's anyone else we've come across that can afford us. Right? We've met interesting people in our travels throughout the Sword Worlds, but none of them.
The two that you could, I will say, just to give you you could, because of your standing with the Sword Worlds, if you're able to contact them at some point, you probably could find a patron with them. Same with Susak, because you have good standing with both factions.
Yeah, I just didn't know if the Aesir lady or the hero captain, they were the only like two people we met.
Well, and if we can help figure out what's going on with the minerals in the Lunian sector, we probably
Oh,
have
that's
some...
Sir Wenzel, right?
Yeah, but that also could very easily lead to Imperial contracts.
That requires us to go the other direction, though, doesn't it? That we would want to go to the Lunian subsector, or would we want to go to the consulate to check the other end of the route?
Well, we've already gotten some clues with the iridium that appears to be coming from there.
It's just
because we think it's connected with the Vac Gem mines.
Yeah, the original crime happened in Imperial territory, which I don't think we want to take any contracts because that's the wrong direction.
Right, but I'm just saying that,
But the other half of it is the right direction, right?
Doing this service could wind us up with Imperial contracts, and the Empire's interested in expanding into new places.
I guess
too.
we can add Sir Wenzelholm on there, but not to do any contracts rimward. We're only doing spinward stuff.
Sir Wendell, not Wenzelholm. Wenzelholm's a system.
Oh, there's so many wins.
Or Corward.
Like us.
We can go Corward. And, plus, honestly, apparently I'm going to have holdings in the Lunian sector, so might need to go back by there at some point anyway.
Jump before we can. It's just, for our first few jobs, I'd kind of like to go.
Oh, I know. Well, heck, I just realized. I answered my own question. You'll have to... You just pointed it out to me. At some point, your holdings won't be defined because you have to check in at the Lunian subsector to speak with your liege, so you can be bestowed the land.
Yep, fair enough.
Does that mean I have to go to Tarrant?
Well, for you, it's already established where yours would be. It's like, well, where are my land grants going to be?
Okay.
You would decide where on Tarrant it would be. On Zameen, you would probably just expand your existing holding to a neighboring hex. Whereas Tarrant, it's like, okay, well, at some point you have to talk to the governor of Tarrant and go, hey, I'm the Baron. I'm the one who got another land grant, so let's figure out where I'm going. It's like, oh, okay, well. Or you talk to the Duke on Zameen and figure out where he wants you.
I guess that kind of... I tell you what, that kind of could accomplish something I want to do and something Tarvin might want to do. We could travel from Darrian to Lunian to get his ennoblement complete. And I kind of like the idea of maybe spending a month or two jumping, doing trading, maybe an odd job on a planet throughout the Sword Worlds, Border Worlds, and into the Empire before settling on a contract. Unless we can get contracts that are open-ended, like if what's his name, the elf, the Darrian, if he wants to give us an open-ended thing with no end date, then we might take it.
The holdings, when we get to Lunian, I'm just as interested in doing some exploring spinward as anything else, but I think we just kind of see what contracts get offered to us and see what we like. The nice thing about having this kind of cash is we can kind of pick and choose,
So,
Yeah.
so Sir Winsel, you can add him.
Oh, that's true. You're eventually gonna. Well, he's already.
And-
Winsel.
I guess I doubt they're gonna have anything for us, but the
Well, so one of
I
von
think-
Alfer is kind of waiting for you to help him with the thing he already asked you to help him with.
Yeah.
yeah, because he doesn't know we already gave him all the details. That information hasn't made it to him yet. In fact, we could probably get our ship built and get him the information faster than the boat we sent it on will get to him.
Well, and we found that information, I think, in Darrian, or where do we meet the
No, that was all on Narsil.
Okay. And the big thing was it's a big component in positronic brain, so there's maybe some.
But I was thinking, as other patrons, Tarbin and the rest of the group have the Aesir lady who was offering originally 700,000 credits to do a job that we did. So they might have the kind of funds it would take to hire us. I think we've kind of lost out on doing stuff for the Border Worlds military because that was tied up in Herevor.
And Daggerson, the trade minister, or former trade minister.
No, I meant the army contracts, because we helped the guy who wanted to. The guy who contacted me as a middleman, he forced my former Herevor's former commanding officer's arm to get us the job to undermine the consulate.
Captain Astavar, yeah.
Yeah, I think we had talked about some potential for military contracts from him, but I think that would be gone now. Unless
yeah,
you ever
'cause
met
we were
Tarvin.
Thinking that some of the foamed iridium was heading into Quirion.
So I think these three are probably them and
Yeah.
Sir Wendell is all we've got at the moment.
All right, just noting all that. I think we'll end it there then, with the success of. Is there anything I need to let you know before we close out? I think I told you about the state of the region, which is largely, I will say, it is largely positive. Even though right now the only one who's suffering is the Border Worlds, but in all, you're doing pretty. You're improving the state of the region more than you're hurting it. And you haven't made any big enemies yet on a factional scale. Your company's established. Your ship is going to get built. No one's died yet. It's just a matter of actually getting out there and scoring the big patron jobs.
Yeah.
But with that, for all of you watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we'll see you all next time.